Hello, everybody. It's 5 o'clock.
Hello.
She is going to join us a little bit later. She's just coming off the coastal resiliency thing. I'm pretty sure Stephen's going to be here a little bit later. But we have a quorum, so we can kind of get it going.
I think Holly and Stephen are here from my conversations just now.
Did you say Holly?
I'm here.
No, I know Holly's here, but is that what you meant, Linda? Okay, anyway, we're going to get it started.
All right, just to clarify that, Mr. Chairman, there is an item on consent.
I know.
No, just that needs to go to consent with conditions that it be 7 feet back, which we're fine with. I put in the new plan, but it didn't make it into the packet.
Hang on.
So I wanted to stop it before you did a blanket okay on the consent, so it needed.
No, I already know about it, Linda, please.
All
Let
right.
me run the meeting, okay?
I just talked to Steve and he was going to do it.
He's not chairman.
Thank you. Okay. Here we go, folks. This is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Permit me to confirm that all the members are present at the moment and persons anticipated on our agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your names, please respond in the affirmative. So where did my list go? I have Diane Coombs.
Here.
Thank you. Val Oliver.
Here.
Very good. Carrie Thornwell, just back from vacation.
Yes, thank you.
Was that a here?
I am here, yes.
All right, fantastic. I need to turn my volume up. And myself, for the record, Ray Pohl. Staff, when I call your names, also respond in the affirmative. Esmeralda Martinez.
Here.
Thank you. Terry Norton.
Here, and I see Steve in the list, just FYI.
Very good. Let's get Stephen in. Stephen, are you there?
I am.
Okay, so Stephen Welch is obviously a board member. He is here. Thank you, Stephen. Now we're back to staff again. So Terry just is registered as being in. Holly Backus.
Present.
Thank you, Holly. Okay. Good evening. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Historic District Commission is convening by video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video. So please be aware that other people can see you and hear you, and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast, of course, may be captured by that recording. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless noted otherwise. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. We are now turning to the first item of the agenda. Before we do so, some ground rules to ensure clear conduct of the business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes for Terry. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. Before they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Very important. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. And for any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor. And please give your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself for the record. And before members have spoken, the chair will allow public comment to people who have joined us on the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, vote taken tonight will be done via roll call. There's the boilerplate. Thank you. And now the first thing we could probably do is we want to modify our agenda, folks. And Stephen, please correct me if I'm wrong here, okay? But I believe that we are going to take, was it 4 Larrabee Lane?
Yeah, from consent to consent with conditions.
Okay, so
Do you want me to
Members-
state the condition?
in a second. So just so that we're going to strike number 6 on consent. We're going to strike it from the consent and we're going to move it on to consent with conditions. Okay? Which is not actually a bulleted item, but we're going to create a consent with conditions. This will be the only one tonight with conditions. And this conditions will be what, Stephen?
It will be that the 5'5" setback is increased to 7 foot along its length.
Very good. Everybody got that? That's going to be the language for the one consent with conditions item that we have, which is at 4 Larrabee Lane. Okay? With that, I would like a motion to approve tonight's modified agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Val,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. So now we have an approved agenda. Let's move straight away to the consents, keeping in mind that number 6 has been stricken. Can I have a motion? I should check and make sure.
Yeah,
I
we don't-
can't sit on it.
You cannot. Oh,
Me neither.
really?
Yeah, we're gonna have to split it up.
Okay, that's fine. Let me think. Diane doesn't need to recuse. Stephen doesn't, and I don't. So that's a quorum.
You do, you have one number
I do?
20. Do I have the wrong agenda?
I think you do. I mean, I only have 12 items on my consent.
No, that
Oh,
changed.
I have
we have
Tuesday,
32.
Yeah.
I think Ray is just number 20. If that's the case, I'll make a motion to hold number 20. Does anyone see Ray as any other numbers than 20?
No,
Okay, motion to hold number 20, Mr. Chair. I guess you probably can't do it. So Diane,
Excuse me
Yeah,
if I may.
I'll do. What about, let me just, before you do that, what about 62 Walsh Street? Or doesn't it matter now that we already have one?
yeah, if you tell me the numbers, I guess I just saw the one, but it looks like 15 and 20.
And
I'd motion
21,
for 15 and 20. 15 and 20.
20, and 21, it says, oh, no, wait a minute, I lie, I'm sorry, 20 is right.
Okay, so I'd motion to hold 15 and 20 from the consent agenda.
I thank you. All those in favor, Carrie?
Aye, this is to hold them and approve the rest of them.
yes,
Well, yeah, I just made a motion to hold them while Ray was not sitting. Now that they're not on them, he can consent agenda chair.
Oh, I see. Aye.
Right, so, all right, and Steve on your motion,
Aye, or at least he can vote.
and I'm on the motion also, so that's a three approvals.
Well,
Now it-
no, please, I'm sorry. I thought Carrie had to recuse from consent.
Okay, this is getting a little complicated.
Okay.
So I'm going to make maybe an alternative strategy. What was just in place was I would recuse from is it 2 or 3 applications that are mine?
The 2.
62 Walsh. And
I would recuse
And-
from that, Diane. I would recuse from that. And then somebody would make a motion to approve those 2. Not me. I'm recused. And then X those, we can go with our without the other members and vote it through as 3 people.
okay, so can I get a motion to approve Botticelli and Poe removing from 2 on the consent on the consents?
Could I make a
No,
quick,
no.
quick
Mr.
comment?
Chair, we really can't do that way without reversing the motions. I apologize, but if I may, if you'll indulge me, my intention was to remove you from consent while you were not chairing. And the three of us then, you, myself, you and Diane would be able to approve consent.
Right.
And then myself, Carrie, and Diane would be able to pick up the two that were held from consent. The only
Right.
reason I point that out is because, excuse me, Diane, the only reason I point that out is because the motion was made and approved. And I think Terry was going to say, wait a minute, you've already got motions made and approved.
Yeah,
So-
you can do two motions. And
Okay.
it's how you've done it before. One is to approve all of them except 15 and 20. And that would
Well, Ray-
include Ray. Hold on a second. That would include Ray. Then motion to approve 15 and 20 without Ray. And it
Oh.
cuts it down to two motions.
Well, Ray
Okay, that's
can't
not-
sit on the first one and neither can Carrie. So I'm just
Neither
gonna,
can I.
and neither can Val. So I was establishing a quorum by removing Ray from the first vote.
No, but
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm talking
guys,
about.
Terry is saying exactly the same thing. She's saying, without me, I recuse from the very first vote. Everybody else votes X my two projects.
I thought Carrie couldn't sit on it and Val
Oh,
can't.
no.
Yeah,
I don't have to recuse from the first vote because we've pulled my two projects.
That's exactly what I did.
Steve's
Yes,
saying.
Yeah.
that's what I'm
And that would
saying.
be, and that would be a vote by Ray, you and Diane.
All right,
And the
keep up,
next one
folks.
would be a vote of everybody but Ray.
Yeah, I said, this is
Oh,
what I
wait a
said
minute.
before everyone
Hold
interrupted.
on. Mirka's got her hand raised and she's going to tell me that I need to recuse from something else. Is that right,
Me?
Mirka? Yeah, you got your hand
No,
raised.
actually, I don't know. I have a hand raised, so my apologies. I will
Unraise it, please. Thank you.
unraise it. I will
Okay.
figure how.
Hey,
Sorry.
everybody, can I have a motion to approve everything on the consent agenda with the exception of items 15 and 20?
20.
I'm here if that helps.
Let's not confuse it, Abby. Please stay out of it. Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion?
So I
That's
make
your
the
motion?
motion. Yes.
Okay, so on that motion, Stephen,
I have a point of information.
yeah,
Can we legally do that? Can you ask to remove your own? Can you act on it and ask to remove your own? That's why I made the motion to begin with, to remove them.
No,
So you can't sit as a chair with those in there, which is why I asked to remove them.
they were not in there. We held them out.
I know, but you just asked for a motion to approve them.
Hey, I don't want to chair any of this, okay? So Diane, you chair everything.
Okay. So
Or
let's,
Abby's here, maybe she can chair it, I don't know.
Well,
so why don't you just wait, Stephen? Let us see if we can straighten it out. Abby,
Well,
would you
he
like?
had a very clear.
yeah, I
motion.
had an elegant, simple solution and I'm kind of getting tired of volunteering solutions. And then Diane, in particular, you're kind of poo-pooing things because you think you have it. I'm gonna,
I'm not
Terry, can I,
poo-pooing.
Terry, excuse me, Madam Chair, I have a point of information. Terry, can I retract my motion? Or vote it off and then we can just start over?
You can, yeah, you can withdraw your motion. You can withdraw all the motions and just start fresh. But real quick note, Abby is on now. So you
Yes,
have a
that's-
quorum to just do the whole thing.
Okay,
And if I may,
that's,
John
right.
just showed up too.
that's why I was gonna remove my motions. We could just vote the whole darn thing now that Abby's here.
All right, let's have a motion to remove Steve's.
No,
previous
no, no,
motion.
Diane, no. No, you now have a quorum.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God, I'm leaving. This is too much.
You now have a quorum, Diane. You can just
All
do
right.
the whole agenda, consent agenda, no sweat.
Okay.
Abby,
Okay,
you,
yes.
and Stephen.
But
All right.
Terry, we motioned to remove Ray's from consent.
You don't have to.
I know, but we already did and we voted on it.
No, you didn't. The
Okay.
vote never made it.
Okay, even
You
better.
made the motion, great, but you can withdraw it and just go with a fresh motion. Just do the whole thing. Just do the whole thing with three people.
Motion to,
All right,
Motion to approve consent agenda items. Minus number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, should I take over? All in
Yes.
favor of Stephen's motion, Diane,
Aye.
Val.
She has to recuse.
uh,
Diane, Carrie, and Ray are recused.
Oh
It's
my-
you, Diane, and Steve. Very
Stephen,
small.
I got you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you say John?
No, he came in the middle of it.
Oh, okay. So sorry, it's, so
Aye.
Diane, I'm in favor, Steve, okay, so, that passes.
Right.
Right. Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you. Oh, John's here. Okay. Let the record reflect that John has joined us. And Abby, obviously. Okay, I skipped over the number 2 discussion of in-person meetings in the MOU. I'm going to skip them over because we're only going till 8 tonight and we're already like way behind. Okay, so let's go to,
Consent with conditions?
yeah, consent with conditions. I'm still
I
trying
make
to
a
find the
motion.
right agenda.
I make a motion to approve consent with conditions.
Thank you. And
hey-
Val needs to recuse from that.
Yes.
Hey, Ray,
Yes.
Ray Rab Newman here. Could we just look at number 1 there, Donald?
Why?
Torrey? I just want to know what you guys want me to do with the windows.
Dormer to have larger windows as this is most visible elevation. Who reviewed this and who can speak to that?
Wasn't me.
It was me, and they're little square windows, and there's a lot of mass left in the dormer. If they could be taller.
Mhm. I'll just bring them down so they're just off of the, they're closer to the roof line below. Good?
We can talk about it.
I think that's fine.
tomorrow.
I trust
good.
Val to do the right thing. Okay, so Val is recused from this. And Diane, did you make a motion?
Yes, I made a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great.
On
Thanks,
that-
everybody.
Motion, John?
On the motion? Yes.
Yes. That was an aye?
Yes,
Yes.
that was an aye.
Okay, Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion?
Aye.
We'll pull Carrie in for this one. Carrie on the motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you. That was consent with conditions. All right, now we're on to 34B Walsh. We have the full board. Do we have James?
Good evening.
Hi. Hey, before we get started on this, is this the one, James, with the neighbors?
I believe so.
Okay. Were they made aware that this meeting is now?
I think they may be on, according to what I see in the queue.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I believe they are here. I do want to notate for you all in the public, we just received these revised revisions today. I have
We
not
haven't
taken.
been
a look
able
at
to
them.
review them.
You know, we just got them. So just wanted to make you all aware of that now. Thank you.
Can we put this over till Thursday? Because there was also a very large packet that came in with it with photographs and area plans.
Linda, what's your interest in this?
I'm involved with this. I did the supporting documentation, which I didn't realize they didn't have, and I sent it in, but it's
So
a
you're
lot of
speaking,
information.
wait, stop. You're speaking for the client, right?
Yeah.
You're speaking for the applicant.
Yes, it's a lot of information.
Stop. Are you requesting that this be moved until Thursday? You have some
Yes.
neighbors that have been, hold on. The neighbors have already said that they can't be there, be in attendance on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. This is kind of unfair at a number of different levels. First of all, that we didn't get the information in a timely manner. And second of all, that we're trying to move something that's scheduled for Tuesday with people that we know can't be there on Thursday, and you want to move it to Thursday. my own opinion of this is if we're going to move it, we'll move it till next Tuesday, not Thursday.
Okay.
So that the neighbors will have an opportunity to speak. Now, that's my opinion. I want to see how the board on this feels about it. And so is there no established board because it hasn't been heard yet? Is that correct?
Right,
Correct.
this
It's only been
has
to
not been
HSAB.
heard.
It's been to
Okay,
HSAB. That's it.
so listen, if Linda, as the applicant's representative, and James, I'm only saying this because she's the one doing the talking at the moment, will
Noted.
agree to moving it to next Tuesday out of deference to the neighbors that want to make their voices heard, then I would grant that. Now, neighbors, could you unmute and let us just know, you don't need to tell us about what you think of the project or anything like that, but whether that's amenable to you.
Yes, hello, this is Eileen Murphy. I'm
Ah.
a direct abutter at 40 Wall Street.
Yes.
I appreciate your consideration, Chairman. Tuesday is much better for us, and it would be even better if you could move it a little bit later on the agenda. It's extremely difficult. Both my sister and I work, and it's hard to
So do
even
we.
be, I get it. If you could like move it to 6 p.m., not first
Well,
on the.
I'm not, okay, I'm not sure that's possible because the setup of the agenda is, there's a certain protocol to the way that's done that we really can't mess with.
The ducks.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
Hey, Ray,
what?
can I briefly address this just for 2 seconds? I didn't get a chance to. We got HSAB's comments back and tried to address them prior to things being reviewed because we couldn't meet the schedule. Things didn't sync up. We're perfectly happy to hear comments today. The moves that we made, if you think that's more convenient, I'm sure they're more than likely. You can make them on the previous. I know that what we have done is going to be better and something that you would prefer to see, but I don't think the changes were so dramatic that, you know,
Okay.
that we're not going to get similar
Well,
feedback.
listen, we have the neighbors here and I'd love to get this going if we can. That's counter to what Linda was saying, but now.
And I understand that. I feel that I don't
What
want to
is
keep
going to
pushing it for
happen,
them.
James, is because HSAB did their review and we all understand that this is a flawed process. HSAB did their review. You didn't have time to turn it around, so nobody's gotten to see it. And so HSAB hasn't seen what you've changed. The
Correct.
HSAB comments that we're about to hear are going to be the old comments.
Correct.
Ones that you've responded to.
Started to, correct.
Okay.
I think that's.
So is everybody in agreement that we can move forward with this? I think we can.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's do it then. Okay, James, go. And we want to do everything fast tonight because we're adjourning at 8 o'clock.
That too, Ray.
Thank you.
So this project is a modest addition to an existing 2000 house. It's not historic by any means. This is in the FEMA floodplain. Present floodplain elevation is 7.3, and we need to bring it up to 9 feet. So no matter what work we do, we need to bring it up 1.9 for the first floor. And then subsequently, we are adding a second floor addition space, as this was previously just a 1.5-story addition. I will note that this is not on a public way. This is on a private way maintained by the 3 residents of the 34B, A, and 34 Walsh. So it is not very seen from public transit or public travel. Presently, we're matching everything in kind, same style windows, 6/6 or 3/3 double hungs. Previously, we had presented this as being white trim, which is the existing. Post HSAB's comments, we suggested changing everything to gray trim, but that's neither here nor there right now. Additionally speaking, we're only adding 461 square feet to the ground floor from the existing. You can see that best on G100, which is like the site plan. We have about 20% more ground coverage, which is allowable, which we are not using. Additionally speaking, the overall main ridge of the building is only 42 foot wide, which is the existing ridge width. We are not changing it. And the bulk of the addition is out to the rear, which cannot be seen by anybody and is single 2 stories additive massing, and it can't really be seen. Generally speaking, all of the trim details and otherwise are just matching the existing. We're trying to maintain as much of the first floor as possible. So you'll see any windows that you see in the proposed elevations that are white are old or existing. We're trying to maintain those where we can. And that is the bulk of the addition. So
I just
short and
have one
sweet.
comment, Mr. Chairman, to clarify that access for these 3 lots. There are 3 lots back there, 34, 34A, and 34B. This is 34B. It is not actually a private way. It is the, if my information you can look at between now and next week, the north property line is the rear property line of the ones that front on Walsh Street. There has been some question over the years when the HCC's dealt with all 3 of these structures, including the one at the end of the road there, which is not that old, that this was somehow a private traveled way. It's not. It's an actual driveway easement that was set up when the original owner subdivided these 3 lots. So they're actually the only publicly traveled way related to this property is Wall Street itself, and not the way that you can go down to get to these 3 houses. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that they are actually meeting property lines, and this is a driveway easement, which is not used.
Okay, that
Thank
is
you for
actually
clarifying.
important. It's an important distinction. A driveway easement versus a private way.
Correct.
Linda, thank you. Holly, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as James had indicated, this is a non-contributing structure built around 2001. However, on a contributing lot within the historic district, the previous structure that was on the lot was a 1930s cottage. HSAB took a look at these plans on January 31st. The addition, this house will be partially visible from Wall Street and possibly also from Brant Point Road. Some effort should be made to reduce the massiveness of this house, either drop it to 1.5 stories, or at least drop the second floor plate down to window headers. The 3rd floor dormers should be eliminated or reduced in number. The plate height of the rear wing facing south should be lowered to create a 1.5 story wing, not a full 2 stories. The north facing fenestration should be more uniform and organized as you might expect on the front of a house. In fact, most of the fenestration needs to be more organized. The 3rd floor mullion windows in the gable ends should be singles. The exposed trusses on the front portico should be shingled over or a change to a more simple shed roof. The skirt board should be broken up with defined piers or panels and be natural to weather. The long shed roof facing west is too long and out of scale. The skylight is not appropriate, and HSAB does respectfully request revisions back should be so inclined. I want to mention that if this is being raised to accommodate FEMA flooding, that it has to also follow our design guidelines, Resilient Nantucket. That would also include having those elevation certificate information for the file. Those are the comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Very good.
Just as a quick note, Mr. Chairman, we did almost every single thing that they asked us to do. So what you're seeing right now is in response to HSAB, because we reduced the number of dormers, we did the skirt boards, we did all the rest
Okay.
of the stuff.
All right. Thank you, Linda. Okay, Ms. Murphy, it's your turn.
Yes, thank you very much. Eileen Murphy, I live at 40 Wall Street. My sister Maureen and I have owned the home for 25 years, so we are direct abutters. 34B is directly behind our house. So a couple of things that I will challenge that have been said. We do not see this as a modest addition or a modest renovation. First off, just to clear one misconception, it is very visible from all directions. It is, and the offshoot from Wall Street is, my understanding is it is a public way, and that was brought out in the HGC meetings when a roof walk was considered a number of years ago. So I'll just put that out, but it is very visible from all directions. We're going to be taking down a tree in our yard because of storm damage, and it's going to even be more visible. But beyond that, our main objections, and we do oppose this application, and I do reserve our right to make additional comments since we just received the revision late this afternoon. I do not believe those revised plans address the major concerns that ASAB had, nor does it address any of the concerns that we have. I urge the commission to do a site visit. This is a very dense site. It's a very dense neighborhood, and you can't appreciate the siting of this house without seeing it. It's a very massive renovation. As proposed, the height, the scale, and the proportions would lack any harmony with any of the adjacent homes in this very compact area. It would overwhelm and tower over all of the nearby properties. It's adding a full second and a third story to an existing 1.5 story structure, and it's nearly doubling the structure's current square footage. The house has no relatedness to anything that's near it. All of the abutting houses date back to the early 1900s. They're 1.5 story, some 2-story homes on all small lots. So the roof lines are much too high. To put a roof deck on top of an already massively high structure will only add to the excessive height issue. I know that this sits in a flood zone, and for that very reason, this structure was built in 2002. A 1.5 story structure was deemed acceptable to that lot at that time. And nothing has changed, quite the contrary. Given the need for flood zone mitigation, which pushes structures even higher, a 3-story structure at this location should not be allowed. It should stay a 1.5 story, 1.75 story structure. This building already goes from property line to property line, and the rear abuts conservation land, and it's already in the wetland buffer zone. We know that from the variance that we were required to sign off on when the present owner purchased this land. So any ground cover is really in an area that you couldn't build on anyway. We take exception to the proposed storage to be built off of the north elevation. The pictures that have been submitted with this application, there is not one photograph that shows our home, which is, looking directly out on the north elevation. This storage area would be right at a 5-foot property off of the property line. And the way that it's designed based on our assessment here, these doors would open into the property line. And I know while zoning is not in the purview of the HDC, this is a really quirky lot, and the house is kind of sits on a sided quirky on this lot. What do you consider the front? What do you consider the back? They have identified the front as the west elevation. The frontage is the fronting off of this offshoot of Wall Street. But if you look at the design of this house, the only exterior door other than a slider off of the rear door here, and I consider this elevation that you're showing here, the south elevation, to be the rear of the structure. It faces conservation land.
Mhm.
The other side of the structure, the north elevation, faces Wall Street. It has a Wall Street address. 34 and 34A Wall Street all face Wall Street. And, the way that this is cited, what's front, what's back, what's side, it does have a consequence as to the setback.
Okay.
I think that this should be a 10-foot setback, and certainly the storage should not be 5 feet off of it with doors opening up. And we faced this a number of years ago when the applicant sought to put a shed on the property, and
Well,
it
I
came
think-
before the HDC, and it was approved, and it was not, the site plan was not correct. It was within the setback, and it had to be revised.
Okay. So I think you've covered all the salient points on this application, its size and so forth. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. I have submitted a letter, which I hope that Holly will submit into the record.
Holly will send the letter around to all of the commissioners, so don't worry about that. Thank you for your comments. And now
Thank
it's the
you.
board's turn. And who would like to start on this?
I can start.
All right, Abby, you go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better than the neighbors, but I think I prefer the story and a half, the original existing style. I think the proposed is out of scale for the lot. I think as a bungalow style, I'm not opposed to a renovation, but I think going to this grandest scale is just out of proportion with the lot size and so forth and so on. And I do think going back for another view might give us all some more insight. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, thank you. Who's next?
I have
Val?
nothing to add.
I would go.
Okay, so let me just make sure before I get to Diane, Val, you agree with Abby's comments?
I agree with general comments that have been made, HSAB and so forth. I think it's just the stature is too much for the site.
Okay,
And
just want to make sure that James is clear on what specifically your concerns are. Okay, thank you, Val. Thanks for your terse response. Diane?
I think the dormers up on the roof on all sides are inappropriate. They go right up to the top. It's 28 feet tall. And I don't think they should be there. They make it much too busy, like on the south elevation. The west elevation, the second set of windows on the second floor are overbearing. I understand the white windows are there. So basically, if you're going to do something, even though the white windows are there, I would have them separated instead of having a double set of windows up there. I don't have the thing, but it goes to lot line, and the houses down there don't do that. They give room. There's no where you're going to have any greenery of any amount in this lot line or this proposal between the two lot lines. Could I see another elevation? Could I see the 6 east? Again, the dormers. This is the east. The window up in the gable should be a simpler gable window rather than the 6/6. And I don't know. I find the roof walk awkwardly proposed up on the roof. So if I could catch, I guess, the south. Or in the north-south elevation, the circular window up there is inappropriate. The dormers are inappropriate. And I agree with what House Chapter said. I agree with the neighbors. It is much too big a building to go where it is proposed in a cluster of smaller buildings. So that's all.
Very good. Thank you, Diane. John?
Mr. Chairman, I need some help, please, okay?
Yes. All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. What do you need?
I just looking here, my question is, I picked up my,
Oh, boy.
no, I picked up my agenda this morning at 10 o'clock. All right.
I know mine was wrong too, John. I had to get a new one.
My question is this, if you go down the front page. you turn it
John,
over-
please don't speak on the agenda. Could you speak on the application that's before us, or I'm going to need to get somebody else on?
Is this the first application we've offered?
It is. This is 34B Walsh Street, and I'm looking for your comments on this application.
34B Walsh, okay. Thank you. I'm up to speed, I guess. Thank you.
Okay, do you have any comments on this application?
On this one?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think it's applicable, that we should allow these houses have to raise them up so many feet, 8 feet level, was that? And they bored it all in underneath because of the foundation, cement probably. But on it, it has, the only thing I have is that these window wells or whatever they are, windows in the underneath of the house. The first
Right.
thing on the left, at the bottom, what is that?
Those are breakaway panels, John. They're for the water, for the flood water.
Okay, my only other comment would be, looking at this, in the center, you have four, on the first floor, you have four, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 light doors there, windows.
Right.
Yeah, right. Now, just above it in the gable, there's a round window.
Yes, yes.
I think it's very inappropriate on this style. They ought
Okay.
to remove it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for your time. Thanks, John. I will quote Val Oliver on this. I have nothing to add. I think that this is a much too ambitious raising of a house from a story and a half, modest story and a half house to a 2.5 story house, plus the addition of the floodplain raise. The floodplain raise, of course, we all understand and accept, but then taking advantage of that to get a 2.5 story house is, I think, a bridge too far for me anyway. So I do agree with everything that's been said by HSAB, by the neighbors, and by my fellow board members. Could we have a motion on this, please?
The hold for revisions and perhaps a view. And the
Okay,
revisions are to include what has been suggested by the board.
okay, and could we do one other thing with your motion?
And it should go back to HASHAB.
There you go. Thank you, Diane. It's going to go back to HSAB before it comes back to us. So on that motion, Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
thank you, Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion.
Aye.
I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're on to old
Can I ask a
business.
can I ask a quick question about each SAB schedule?
Take it up with Esmeralda. The board members don't really discuss the schedule.
Noted.
Thanks, James. Okay, so now we're on to old business, 1 Caroline Way. Board, we have myself, Abby, John, Diane, and Val. We got everybody on board. Okay, Mirka, now you can raise your hand.
And I'm sorry for it if I did it by mistake. Good
You just
evening.
totally threw me off.
I'm sorry. I want to offer, if it's maybe possible, to share my screen, so it might be
That would
easier.
be fine.
Would it be
Yes.
okay with Holly, or give them the girls?
Yeah, generally, we're in favor of you guiding us through, yes.
Yeah, I feel it's
Takes a little bit
easier.
of the burden off of the staff.
And I have 3 in a row, so mine as well. Let's just
You have what?
3 applications in the row, so hopefully we
Okay,
make it
yes.
faster.
You do, correct.
All
Okay.
right, so please let me know if you can see my screen, and I hope it doesn't. Oh, sorry.
There we go. Well.
Okay, so that's the application we are on. Also, it's a 1 Caroline Way.
Hey, Mirka,
Yeah.
kind of blurry.
Oh no, is it?
Let's.
Getting bigger.
Okay, it sort of seems okay now.
But it's
When
still
you re-
blurry.
And no, it's all right, but you got to reduce it down a little because we're not getting.
Okay, yeah. I just want to know if it's the screen or the graphic. Okay, so I will just go back.
Yeah, that's,
So I
okay.
will,
It is
okay.
like an eye test. Okay,
I'm
okay,
trying.
go for it.
Okay, so a few things I would like to clarify, which came as an issue with the initial presentation. And initially, the outline of the area, I had illustrated as a plans, which I could kind of bring back here just a little bit. What was maybe misleading, I am not trying to be planting or recreating the vegetation. So I would like to first clarify that part. That was more just suggestive to the existing. Therefore, I adjusted the graphic to make it very clear, to just show the green line is the line of proposed clearing. which was again in a question. So that's what we propose. And as you can see, the black line is actually the line which was already approved as clearing pair all the mesa and all the boards we have to go through.
Okay.
So I just want to first of all just point out, we are not over clearing the lot. We are really I'm trying to work with the existing vegetation, which is amazing. And I really just want to focus on making this inner part as private as possible and out of sight. So in addition to the comments, the changes to the design were to bring the structures closer. You just review, I believe so, the week before school break, the architectural changes, which you approved. This was the initial setup, the guest house and the pool. I brought everything closer to the house to really enhance the screening and make this inner pool area more intimate. I reduced the size from initial 18 by 52 to 18 to 42 with integrated spa. We omitted the cabana from the drawing because, as we know, it was only proposed, so I didn't want to be misleading. We are setting the pool 24 inches within the grade, working with the existing natural grades. We know the grade is around 15 here and around 17 around the house. So we will be hugging with the grades, the structures of the house, but then kind of settle in the pool inside. Please let me know if you would like me to stop. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Well, I think that you covered it.
Perfect. So just in addition, just want to cover all my comments. The pool equipment is here. And after further research, it brought to my attention that there is already existing pool on site, which was approved on April 4th, 2019. So it's actually still good.
So is the pool literally there, or it was just approved?
No. And I have initial approvals here. This is the approved.
But it hasn't
pool.
been built.
No. It just
Got
approved pool. Yes.
Okay.
And this is the application which covers some stone patio. It's a pool at grade with a stone patio and surrounding deck. So I just wanted to share this one information which I was not aware of it when I was presenting last time. Okay. So, and I think that would be all the changes we did for this application. Just to kind of bring to the second page, all the planting we are proposing around, this is kind of show you the aerial map, where is the existing clearing as of today. The existing house was located in this area. Mm-hmm. Again, green lines suggest what we will clear. The white line suggests what was approved to be cleared. So we are really trying to tuck this closer.
Okay, so it was approved by MESA, but it was also approved by the HDC?
The clearing was approved by MESA, yes, and the pool was approved by HDC, yes.
But on the prior approval for the pool, you showed the MESA clearing?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Gotcha. And in addition, any planting, I just would like to work with the beach grass, bayberries, cletras, viburnum. No trees, really, everything low, everything very appropriate to the location. I know there was this comment about what is there. I really would like to work. I don't want to disturb anything what is not need to be disturbed. Really just work with the boundary of the pre-existing and just work. I will bring back to the plan, just really rework everything what is around the house in a very natural and quiet way, belonging to the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirka. Okay, I think we may have some neighbors in the queue. If so, unmute and give us your name and address for the record. Anybody?
You want a motion?
No.
No, not yet. John, I'm making sure that there's nobody from the neighborhood who wants to speak on this application. So again, if there's, hold on, John, hold on. if there's no one who wants to speak on this application as a neighbor with concerns, I'm going to turn it over to the board, and it sounds like that's where we are.
Yes,
I'll go.
Okay, Val, go ahead.
I appreciate the changes, Mirka. Thank you. I think your previous approval, maybe that wasn't you, but the previous approval that you showed us was really telling. It was 2 structures with a pool, very minimally just between these 2 structures in a very small area, a little bit of patio. And I think that's more appropriate. I'm looking at, I did print this stuff, the aerial photos. And if you look at any of the pools that are in existence out there, they are very close to the structure, which is something that we've been requiring. And not a lot of patio, not a lot of, this has a lot of deck around the patio too, which I think should go away. The pool should move closer to the house, and everything should just be as simplified as possible to match what's around. It's just too much, and it's spread out too much. The pergola is reduced by a foot, which is good. Is it natural to weather? I can't remember. Okay.
Yes.
So let me see if I've gotten all my notes. And then with regard to the wall, I'm still trying to understand this fieldstone wall. Are you saying that it's sinking down? So you're going to walk down into like a
That's correct.
depressed area in the yard?
That's correct, Val. So you come outside of the house and you have a few steps. So if you are on the elevation 0 here, you are in the elevation 2, -2, like 2 feet. So you have a few steps, and it's the retaining kind of wraps around the pool, because the grade naturally slopes from elevation 15, 16, 17 this way. So we are grabbing the 17 and the higher, which kind of comes from here to this side of the site, and then capturing 15 on these 2 sides and really set the pool inside the landform, still making sure the water kind of gets out of it to the lower depressed area.
So those will be interior to the site. They won't be sticking
Correct.
up. Okay.
Correct.
Those are my comments.
Thank you. Diane.
Okay, on your thing where you have the patio typical or TYP up on the top left, then you have one down below. There's a square right there. You come back down to that second one, patio. I want to know what that square is with steps coming down to it.
I'm sorry, Dan, this is the first patio or the second patio?
The second patio. Now
Okay.
go west.
That's here. You know
What's
what,
that?
that
What's that?
is a little something, I apologize. That should be nothing.
What is that whole rectangle? What is
Oh,
that?
you know what, this is, oh, I see. This is pergola, Diane. And the pergola sits in the elevation, in the grade of the boardwalk. And it's little cut through steps going down to the pool.
Okay. I would like to see as much of the patio type stuff reduced. We don't see in this particular drawing very much greensward, which out there is, we're trying to maintain what is out there. This gives up twice as large as where the main house is, all to the backyard. And this is down on Caroline Way, which is on a corner property and seen on every corner you come to. And I wonder whether the view of the pool, it's not going to be available to see. The trees are scrub oak or whatever you want to call it out there, is not high. Excuse me, because it gets a lot of wind. And it has never been high, and it's nestled into a sand dune type of property out there. And I would like to see it more informal, doing that. The bluestone patio it's all regular stones. It could be a street. I would like to see the whole thing reduced in size and what it pushes on the elevation. It needs to be more local to the area of Caroline Way where it is. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Abby?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said. Back to what Val was getting onto, well, placement of the pool should be more tucked in against the house, the long way. The Y-shaped driveway gives you a direct view of that pool area, and all of what Diane is talking about is this over hardscaping of in a very rural dune-like setting. I think simplicity, and you, Mirka, you do this so well, the simplicity with just, you know, wood decks but simplify it and have a little bit more natural growth around the pool area. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. John?
Yes, sir, thank you. In this case, I would have to say, in my opinion, it has been for a long time, a pool is a pool, and whatever is whatever it is. All right, this their guest house, whatever it is. And I think this application here, as I'm looking at it, I find it suitable for the neighborhood without making any changes. It looks good. The only thing I don't know is what is that blue line going around? Is that a fence?
The blue
Meaning
line?
this?
That one there, right?
That's just showing where that's what we're
Bubble.
reviewing.
Okay, because I noticed here it said something about a fence.
Oh, just to correct, that's Mr. McLaughlin, that's the fence is right here to again enhance the screening.
Well, I think these people have tried hard enough to get it. I don't think it's inimical to the neighborhood. I think it's great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Hey, John, sometimes a pool is not a pool. Sometimes a pool is a water feature, and sometimes it's a spa. So a pool isn't always a pool. Anyway, I don't have the issues with this application that some of the other board members have. I don't believe that it's going to be visible. I appreciate the fact that you, A, hid it behind the buildings, B, kept a lot of the natural vegetation, C, and maybe the most important part is this dropping down, you know, sort of sinking it down to the ground, I think is an effective way of really keeping it out of view. But that's just my opinion. What would you guys like to do? Want to have some minor revisions on this or something?
I'd make a
Yeah, go ahead, Diane.
I would make a motion for minor revisions, keeping in
Okay.
mind the suggestions that have been made by the board members.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Val.
I'm up for revisions.
Okay, good. Abby,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
very good. Diane on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Motion carries. Thank you, Mirka, for number one. Now, number two, 22 Easton Street. And this one is 4-member board, myself, Abby, Diane, and Carrie.
So here we are again. Good evening.
Here we are again.
So I just want to make sure it's as zoomed and still be in a context. So I would like to just I just would like to remind us where we started, and that's this red outline with the pool, which was initially proposed. And where we are as of now, 10 by 15 spa, which is still considered spa. per our bylaws, tucked between the building. I believe per the last comments, this was not an issue, and I felt very comfortable that you as a board, majority of the board was appreciative of this change. Therefore, we are moving towards the next step, how to make this landscape per request more appropriate to the neighborhood. So the first issue was the brick apron, or initial, I practically got rid of the idea of using antique granite. We will do beautiful brick apron, which will nicely just tie into the street. So that was the first part. Second idea was suggestion was, the boardwalk was majority was okay with the boardwalks, but wanted to keep a little bit of the separation from the street. So I pulled it back from the parking. The third was the idea of too many regular stones. So from the initial antique granite, we are going to more Goshen stone, which I will move. I just want to make sure we are moving. Goshen stone. It's a beautiful, large, you might be familiar with it, Goshen or mica stone. It's a beautiful, large, irregular stone used in town for paving and in other application. Therefore, I'm using them in a connection set in a lawn. Then still, I would like as an inner, just because this is the only part of the hardscape, use the regular granite, which is more natural sandy color, which is Phoenician granite, which is nicely matched with the decks and boardwalk. So that was the main of the concern for the hardscape part. There was the transitioning questions, how we are going to transition down. And I know this is a task which is really hard for these projects in town, which are raised 6 feet above the grade. And I literally cannot change an inch of the elevation from the pre-existing. Therefore, and we cannot block the water from coming from the basements to the structures. Therefore, I can only work with some kind of structural stones or wooden or any kind of structure to just get us down. The way how I did it in the past or in another project was this beautiful set of risers set on top of each other, which are tucked in the vegetation and which helped layer the landscape. For an easier, and this is maybe a better plan, for the easier, we create little graphical illustration for this to better understand where we are and what the heights mean for this site. First of all, just to you all are familiar with the Eastern Street, and I just wanted to show the streetscape, right? All the houses are above the ground, most of them are. They all have some kind of green buffer, trees, hedges, which are on average between 6 to 8 feet. And as you can see, parking in the front, some kind of buffer, but it's barely screens the structures in the back. So I wanted to just kind of have that conversation between us to make sure we understand. We are not trying to screen the house. We will keep the pre-existing hedges, which were on site before this construction started. I have a little scale reference, little person, let's say 5 and 6 feet tall. The hedge would be again between 6, possibly, maybe 7, a little bit higher. It's only screen the cars and the bottom of the buildings, the base, the foundation of the buildings. The inner privet, which is between the structure in an inner courtyard, is the height of 4 feet. Again, we want to celebrate the front door, which being requested over the process of designing the house. And for some little privacy, really framed with few trees. In a general, you will have a full view of the main door. You will have a full view on the guest house. You will have minimum view to the backyard. However, I would like you to see how the backyard will look like. We have our front door. We have our decks, we have our transitioning, and we have our plants. And I just want to describe the spirit of this garden. It's a beautiful seaside garden. So you can see along the beach on the Brent Point side.
Hey,
And
Mirka,
this is the garden we are creating. So, and that's where I stop. I know we are running out of time, but I do feel that it was so much description and imagination, and I really want to connect with you just so you understand where we are heading with this. I'm not trying to recreate. I really just try to bring this beautiful town property, create a privacy and have a beautiful interest, and don't do nothing out of ordinary here. And that's what
Okay.
we did. Thank you.
thanks a lot. Okay, thanks. Holly, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So HSAB did take a look at these revisions on February 14th. They did recommend to change the application to reflect the changes that have been, that has taken place since the original application was reviewed. For instance, the change from the pool to a spa, as well as the material for the apron. Just a reminder, the commission, this is a infill property now, that's a contributing lot located in the historic district, old historic district, actually. From staff's perspective, appreciate the apron change to brick. Thank you, America. With more in keeping with the historic neighborhood, as well as in keeping with what's there now. And appreciate the pool being changed to a spa and relocated between the structures as the commissioners have been requesting. I would, if the commission so inclined, I would recommend approval through staff so that way the application can be revised to be updated with the necessary changes that have been done throughout the review. So those are my comments,
Right.
Mr. Chair, and each
Okay.
side. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay, Diane, you go for it.
Okay, I appreciate the brick apron going in there and the steps. I like those big wide old steps. They I think they're good. And my only question, and I brought it up a long time ago when we started this thing, if you're getting rid of the pool, why wouldn't you put the spa up where the pool was, which is now sort of a very formal patio with square edges and everything, and then we wouldn't have any problem with it being down visible. I don't know. I've wondered all the time. It seems to tuck something in at the far west or west left corner of the patio, and I didn't quite get why you wanted the patio to be granite rather than the Goshen stone, which is very pretty. That's all. It's just a
Okay.
question. I think
Mm.
it just made more sense to me.
Okay. Rather than have Mirka answer those, because I think I know what her answers would be, let's hear from all the board members first. So let's see where we are. Abby, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So I know why you don't want the pool there, because it's a direct shot from the
Right.
driveway. And
Right.
that's the reason we moved it over there. And I would go for one that's 10 by 5 or smaller, but I do
Did
believe
you really mean 10 by 5?
10 by 15. Sorry, it's
Okay.
10, yeah, 5 by 10. Yeah,
Well,
It's-
5 feet. Okay.
yeah, it's
That's
small.
that's smaller than a hot tub, but go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, well, so my point is about that is that there are in this area of Brant Point, there on other areas of Brant Point further towards the Nantucket Hotel, and yes, there was one at the White Elephant, blah blah blah. So I'm just saying that this is a new thing for this neighborhood. So I would like to start small. And then if somebody comes and says they did it, I want to be prepared. So going back to the, thank you for the brick driveway. I wish the driveway were smaller. It looks like they're You know, it's the first thing you see. I also, you know, on my wish list, you're doing such great presentations now, Mirka. You're almost showing us too much. Because when you put the guest cottage with the main cottage, with the main house beyond, it looks sort of massive. And I was just wondering if you couldn't get a tree in between the guest cottage and the main. Yes, you see how it almost looks like, you know, something in New York City or something. I don't know. Anyway, I know you have that porch there, but if there was something of a tree in between that porch and the main house, it would break that up so it wouldn't look like a massive massing. That's bad. Those are my main concerns. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, thank you. And Carrie, I believe it's to you.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the sort of material changes, the apron. And I do appreciate that the spa is smaller and tucked in. I think spas are really hard, and because there's no precedent in this neighborhood, I have been saying no the whole time. But looking at this and seeing how tucked in it is and the size of the overall property, I think that's your winning bet for a spa, is that this is a very large property and it is tucked in so well. I really appreciate adding some actual trees back in here, because this street does have nice trees in front of a lot of the buildings. So I think I'm okay with this.
Okay, well, guess what? So am I. But we have a 4-person board and you need 3, so I think you need to do something. Mirka, right?
If Abby would like me to put a tree there or there, I have no problem with it. Again, we focus on the street. If that would sway Abby to feel, there's no way, Diane, I'm putting spa back in. That's
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
I cannot please Diane. So I'm
Okay,
picking
hang on,
Abby.
Mirka. Diane was just asking the question.
Yeah, I see.
I don't think that she was insisting.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I don't think that she was insisting that you move the spa back there. She was just asking a question.
So what was concern of, I feel, I think only concern what I felt then from Diane, and please correct me if I misunderstood, maybe if this would become instead Goshen, instead Phoenician Goshen, would that be better
That
application?
was a recommendation of Diane's.
Yeah.
Yes,
And would that make her?
It would make me very much happier.
And would that make you to? Would that make us to agree that this is beautiful garden? And I think we all will be so happy to drive by and see what we can see. And
I do think it would be very nice, because I think that's a nice patio. What I think I mentioned to you before, that if you rounded off the corners so you didn't make it quite so perpendicular to each other, it would really fit in with the plantings that you have.
Curving the corners of the patio, right,
yeah,
Diane?
Yeah, to make this more natural, and I'm willing to do that if that could be something done through staff.
Could I form an approval?
Yeah, sure can.
Because if I form it, I get to say what I want. So
Well, you do, but okay, go ahead. Let's see what we got.
Here it goes. I'm leaving a lot of stuff out that I want, but just saying. So I also appreciate the way you have reduced the pool and where the placement of the pool so that we cannot see it from Easton Street. I do believe in my thought, when you circled a green tree right outside the porch, I thought it looked great. And I really think it will break up the massing just a little. Yeah, just somehow. So anyway, I think you get it, Mirka, what I'm talking about, right?
So
Yes.
Abby, you would be okay with a tree right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, you
All
know,
right.
like, I'll come plant it if you want, but so the approval has the changing the Phoenician stone to Goshen. And I think everything else is pretty much, did I miss anything?
Well, did you want to include that addition of the tree that she's drawn in red there?
Yes, that.
Okay, and I believe for Diane, we may want to round the corners of the patio. And it seemed that Mirka was amenable to that as well.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
those items, and that would be through staff, correct?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if somebody could just also add about revising the actual application in the office as well.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Okay.
Abby, you just need to say that the
The
application will
revised
be
edition
updated.
will happen in the office.
Right.
That's my motion.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Abby. Okay, on that motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Abby.
Aye, and I want to thank Mirka for her nice design.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mirka. And I'm in favor too. Okay, so we have one more from Mirka and then we're off to Sophie. So for a Okay, this one is myself, Abby, John, Diane. Okay, so Jesse's not with us, but we can pull Stephen in. Stephen, are you ready? Ready, willing, and able to assist in the event of an emergency landing?
Everyone gather your bag of oxygen because you can't help others if you can't help yourself first.
That's right. Put your mask on first.
So
So the
thank you.
answer is yes. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I just want to again remind, I was hired after the initial design, which was presented by Uri Benchad. So I just want to remind us where we before the first submission, which was pulled. Oh, sorry. I will just do that, which was pool kind of right exposed to the street. The main comments was the visibility, how close we are, and the size of the pool. So this in general, like sum up. So here we are. I marked up the area with the red where the initial pool was proposed in a size of 16 by 30. First, I reduced the pool to 14 by 28. We turn it sideways. So therefore it would allow for little shed or any kind of structure which the client is asking for, as well to allow with the screening of the pool and really push the pool as close as to the house, still allowing for some kind of lounge area, of course. The all natural, again, maybe the graphic is sometimes misleading, but I just want to reiterate, it's all natural planting using what we have in a neighborhood: bayberries, viburnum, cletra, inkberries, which are summer evergreen, and using some cedars and hawthorn for the secondary screening, all beautifully hugging this property to make sure that any screening from or visibility from this side would be minimal. This area here is fully undeveloped, and if you drive by, it's still pretty thick and it's hard to see the driveway is here. So as we know, we cannot really control what is not on our side. However, it's there now, but I don't want to count on it. Therefore, we are still using some kind of the screening and enhanced planting right around this property line to really minimize any public view, even in the future, if these lots, let's say, get developed in a later date. And I think that's it for this application.
Okay. Thank you, Mirka. Who's ready?
Oh, I would go to okay.
That sounds fine, Diane. Go ahead.
I approve and thank you for changing the pool. I think it will be good. And the size of it, taking it down. Do you have a site plan, Mirka?
A site plan?
The plan, this is, Diane, if you are asking, these are the property line.
Okay, And that line in the back, which would be the south, sort of, if Wamasquit was the north, what's that?
That's I will go to the Zoom. That's the property next door in the back.
Okay, is it a fence or?
Oh, privet. Right now, the neighbor already planted their privet there. I will just build off that and enhance this part on our side.
Okay, I appreciate keeping the trees back there. I think that it's going to work. Wamasquit is a funny road, and some of it's very clear, and some of it's got a lot of vegetation. And I think the even side of Wamasquit 4 and 6 have more vegetation. So I think I don't have a problem with it. I think you've done a good job of hiding the stuff and using the trees and stuff that you have there. Thank you.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Abby, you ready? I actually said, Abby, are you ready? Up.
Sorry, I'm muted. I am not ready. Is there somebody else?
Yeah, of course. Stephen?
Yeah. First, before we start, I want to agree. Abby made a comment during one of Merker's previous presentations. You've upped it a notch. Would you mind, Mirka, just doing a fanciful squiggle with your red lightsaber? Yeah. So if I were to partake in shamanic rituals again, I'd want that. No question asked. Other than that, I think this is appropriate for the location. Appreciate the changes. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Let's see. Abby, ready?
Yeah, no, so I didn't quite understand the site. I looked at it and I don't understand if you could see that pool from the Wamasquat. If you drive down that and you look across to the pool or even further in, would you be able, I mean, I know you've put vegetation there, but I mean, we all know vegetation comes and goes, but how close is that?
So
is that a circle? I just don't understand.
I just want to quickly this is the another property line, Abby, just to kind of make sure like we understand. This is already vegetated. This is already natural vegetation there, which is around 10 to 12 feet, probably scrap. What distance are you asking me? And I'm happy to provide you. This is a 10 feet setback. So that can be as a reference. So we have another 10 to 15 feet on this side. So it's approximately the 25 feet from the edge of the property line. However, it's still natural vegetation between.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this.
Good. Okay, thank you. John McLaughlin.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Mr. Chairman, visualizing, looking at this whole project here and the way it's laid out, I don't think the pool is visible from anywhere.
I think that's right, John.
I think it's approvable. Thank you.
Hey, so do you want to make a motion, John?
Make a motion to approve, say as submitted.
Okay, sounds good. I think it's going to go. Okay, so John has just made a motion to approve as submitted. On that motion, Abby.
Yes, hi, yes.
Very good. Thank you. Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. Stephen.
Aye.
John on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Motion carries. So there you go, Mirka.
And thank you very, very grateful. Bye.
Okay, Sophie, are you there? Sophie? That's interesting. Do we have anybody here to represent 7 North Mill? Like the landscape, perhaps? Lindsay? Sophie? Anybody?
Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody.
It would seem not. Okay, so, and sadly, I think that there's been a lot of people waiting in the queue to perhaps speak on this application, but we're going to pass this one over, folks, because there's nobody here to represent. When I say this
Motion
one,
to hold for representation?
Hey, so Abby, could it be for both of them? There's
Yes.
two for 7 North Mill Street, the garage and studio, and then the hardscape. Can you hold both of those for representation?
I think I can.
All right, so thank you for that motion. On that motion, Diane.
She's muted.
Okay, Carrie?
Aye.
Oh, there's Diane. Carrie?
Aye.
Thank you. John?
What was the motion, please?
Motion is to hold 2 applications for 7 North Mill Street for representation.
I agree.
All right, very good. Abby, on your motion,
All right.
and I'm in favor. So those 2 are held. Next time, for those of you that are interested in that application. Okay, now we're going to go to 23 Broad Street. Matt, are you with us?
I am, Mr. Chair.
Very good. All right, thanks. Okay, so our board here, myself, John, Diane, Val, and Stephen. Okay. Matthew, it's to you, friend.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I can't see the drawings at this point. I don't know.
Are you trying to screen share?
I wasn't. Do you want me to? Or?
Well,
Esmeralda's got it.
looks like Esmeralda beat you to it. So let's
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
So we made some significant changes based on the feedback of the neighbors. Again, not that the planning board process is part of this, but we've made some significant changes on the planning board side and simultaneously significant changes on the HDC side, specifically omitting the deck at this stage completely and just proposing to add more fenestration on this elevation. And there you go. This is on the west elevation.
No deck.
No deck, no steps. I mean, it's something that we probably will revisit later. I think the game plan here is to get open for a season, actually, and so the neighbors can get a sense of what the experience is going to be like, and then potentially revisit some of these items maybe in the fall, if at all. But at this point, we're just trying to get some light in that back section. That's all I have.
Okay, you also bubbled the shed here. Is there a reason for that one?
What I just, because we've made so many changes over the process, I wanted to just kind of focus on specifically on what changes we're making to the building from the existing conditions to the old. So the shed itself, we haven't made any changes to it.
The shed is still part of the package.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so in a nutshell, we're looking at some window revisions and the addition of the shed as seen from the west elevation. And then the shed, if it's on the west elevation, would also appear from the side on the north and the south, and that's it?
That's correct.
That's it. Okay, thanks, Matthew. So Holly, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Holly, it's your turn.
I do have some just minor. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as everybody is aware, this is the Brotherhood. This is a Greek revival that was built after the Great Fire of 1846. HSAB took a look at these revisions on February 14th. They said they appreciate the removal of the deck and the French doors. The proposed mold windows should match the mold detail of the existing floor dormers, or windows should be separated by shingles.
What are you doing?
She's just talking. Sorry, Diane.
And from staff's perspective, I agree with HSAB on the mold windows and appreciate the removal of the deck and floor door addition, excuse me.
Let me be, so HSAB is recommending that the mulling of the windows, the 3 sets of windows that we're looking at as new, would match the mulling of the 3 sets of mulled windows in the dormers?
Yes, sir. Yep. So it
And
matches.
it just looks like the mull is a little bit thicker on those than it is on Matt's.
Correct.
And that's it.
And appreciate the simple addition for the restrooms on the rear as shown on that elevation before you. So
Okay.
minor comments, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, great. Okay,
Thank
thanks. All right, so is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this application? If so, you want to unmute and name and address for the record, and then we'll hear you.
Mr. Chairman?
No, I know you're a member of the public, but you're also on this application, I believe.
I got
You have to hold on 1 second, John.
no problem.
Yeah, no, I'll get to you in just a minute, okay? Anyone from the public? Okay, I'm going to take it over to the board now. So, John, did you want to speak on this application? Let me make sure you're on. I think you are.
I'd like to speak. I'd like to go up 3
Yeah,
notches.
you know, you're ready. Yep, you go.
I can't read it. Thank you.
There you go. There's the whole picture. Yep, you got everything now, John. So we're looking at a shed on the left-hand side, and we're looking at 3 sets of mold windows on the right-hand side.
Right, okay, I have comments.
Go ahead.
Okay, what is the roofing on the 4 windows next to the garage right there in the middle?
That's an awning, I think.
That's correct.
Is it canvas?
Through
Yeah,
you, Mr. Chair, yes,
and I believe that's existing, John.
it is.
I don't know, I couldn't see it. I saw it last week, 2 weeks ago. But okay, my only question was the material. And the other, they have that window on the 3rd floor on the right. That last window on the right side. Could we go to that?
Well, I know you don't like those 3rd floor windows, John, but they're there. I know it's super wide. We never would have approved that. I'm sure you didn't approve that, but it is already part of the building.
I was only hoping they put another one there, replace the one that's there. It's a 6/6, but it looks different to me. The lower sash. The first three are same size, and the last one on the right has a what is it, 6/6? It's off a different size. Why don't they match the other 3?
Hey, John,
Yes,
keep in mind, that's been there ever since I moved to Nantucket, which was 30 years ago.
yeah, but that's my only request. Any changes here other than what I see? The three double windows, I'll leave that to Diane to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Diane, you ready? Diane? Oh. Diane? How about Val?
I'm out. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
oh, there you go.
I appreciate the changes finally that have happened along that where there used to be just a staircase. And Hashab mentioned having them match the windows up in the 3rd floor. I think that would be good. Why do we have to why do we have to have that little window?
Through you, Mr. Chair, so that falls in a stairwell, Diane, and we felt that it just, without that window, there looked like there was too much shingle, and we wanted to add some light to the stairwell, but then also try to create a little bit of a composition on that elevation.
What I might suggest is if you widened the gap between each window, the way it is up on the 3rd floor,
Mhm.
it would take it right to that window, which I wouldn't mind. I would like to see those windows separated as they are up in those dormers.
Through you, Mr. Chair, Diane, we could do that. We can emulate that same mall spacing.
Yeah, don't you think that would be good? I think I can't say enough that you have done this, and I think it's great. I think it will. I think a lot of people wanted to see it stay as much as it could, the way it was, and I think that this answer is, for me, a good answer. And I wasn't one of your backers before. As good an architect as you are, sometimes you have to disagree. So
We get it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Diane. Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So yeah, the mold from the third floor dormers, I think the vocabulary of the smaller window is okay. If you look at the dormers above, you've got 3 sets of windows in a different window. So that picks up on that. And then if you look at the windows to the left of what's proposed in the first floor, you have what appear to be, from this vantage point, 2 smaller windows. So you're taking a hybrid of those 2 design patterns and weave them together. I think it's totally appropriate. As you can see from the main structure, windows on the first floor don't line up with the windows on the second. They're imbalanced over left-right axes of the door, which we would never approve today. I think it's okay if windows aren't perfect. More so given that this isn't directly facing the street, nor will it be visible other than obliquely from the street. The shed addition, I have no concerns about. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks. Val, it's to you.
I have nothing to add.
Okay, I think we have liftoff. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve as submitted through staff with revisions to the, that's a little mucked up, but through staff with the first floor double windows to be mulled as the third floor dormer windows.
Correct. Okay, great. Thank you, Stephen. On that motion, Val,
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. Thank you. John.
Repeat the motion, please, Mr. Chairman.
Is to approve with the mullions getting a little wider, approved through staff.
Thank you.
Are you a yes?
I'm yes.
You're a yes. Okay, very good. Stephen, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Ta-da.
Thank you.
Thank you for working with the board. Okay, now we're on to some new business items. First of which is 1 Westchester. Unless we have any kind of, well, we will have, at least I will have to recuse on the last 3, but it's going to be the regular board. Do we have somebody to represent 1 Westchester? The TNT roofing people haven't been loving coming to the meetings.
Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody from TNT.
Okay, all right, is this the same thing that we've been encountering? Architectural versus.
Yes, it's from 3-tab to architectural. I do have HSAB comments, and I actually have some suggestions.
Okay, let me just ask something here. And this continues to come up with, ooh, whoa. All right. Is this something that you think we're going to need representation on? Yes.
Quite frankly, given that they gave us all these samples of what's actually on the roof, and there are some architectural, I think we can move it along if it's a.
Okay, so thank you for that input, Val. So why don't we hear from you first, Holly, and then I'll put it to the board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So just for the record, this is an 1830s Greek revival within the Old Historic District. The application is to change it from 3-tab sea green, is what they indicated, to an architectural Georgetown gray. Sea green is something that's not pretty much being manufactured anymore, and you all have approved through the approvable list to allow a nickel gray, and a nickel gray is more of the black and the green kind of combination. I do think it should be kept 3-tab as it is in the Old Historic District, but it does seem that this dwelling has had a plethora of colors based on this photograph before you, black, gray, and sea green. So that's why I think a nickel gray would actually be a better compromise versus the Georgetown gray as proposed.
Okay, thanks, Holly. Val, you want to continue?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this and I thought, wow, that's crazy. So I personally don't have a problem accepting the architectural as long as it's an approved color.
Okay, which I believe it is.
Yeah.
Right, Holly? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Diane?
I think because of the age of the building, that a 3-tab is more appropriate in the color that's as close to matching the existing roof now as possible.
Okay,
We, if it was a 1950 or something or other, I could see architectural, but 3-tab, I think on the older buildings is better.
okay. Thank you, Diane. Abby?
Yeah, I'll go with the black 3-tab or the nickel, but not the brown on the right, not that. I think this is really high profile. You see it to the right coming down Cliff Road or North Center, and you see it, you're gonna see, it's a high profile house. It's a wonderful house. I'd like to see it kept traditional and historic. Too bad we don't have foam green or whatever it is, but
Yeah. So let me make sure that I understood what you just said, though, because I think you said that you would do one as 3-tab and one as architectural.
oh, the nickel is architectural.
The nickel is, that's what they're requesting. The nickel is one of the architectural shingles that are approved for downtown.
Yeah, I would go with a nickel architectural, but not the brown. I think the brown is,
Well, I don't think they're requesting that, honestly.
well, so one of those up there looked sort of.
Oh, no. That's just what's there now.
Okay,
They have a hodgepodge of shingles up there now, no rhyme or reason to it, which is one of the reasons Val is just sort of supporting having a uniform shingle up there.
sure. Yeah, got it. Yeah, no, it is a wonderful house, though.
Okay, thank you, Abby. John?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If any part of this is visible, it's best that we try to make, they're gonna do just that small area, or they're gonna do the whole roof?
No, the whole roof, buddy. Whole roof.
Okay, whatever they pick, let it be one that was presented to the commission, well, one of the colors, and that was suggested by Mr. Walsh. I think he done a good job on it, and I think that I'll rest to hear what he's got to say about what colors. Thank
Well,
you.
Stephen isn't on this, but I think that if he were, he would say that the shingle that they're requesting doing is a shingle that we as a group decided was approvable in the old historic district.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And I'm okay with this for the same reasons that Val is okay with this. Should we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I just want
Oh,
to make
sorry.
it clear.
Yeah.
They're asking for a Georgetown gray architectural. And Georgetown gray architectural, based on your approved list, is not approvable within the old historic district. However, obviously Moray black architectural or 3-tab is, and if you were also inclined for the nickel gray, you've all allowed it as an approvable color as a 3-tab within the old historic district, not to confuse everything.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Thank you, Holly.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm kind of confused.
It's
Very clear.
They were
So-
asking to change it to an architectural color, not just architectural, but to a color that is not approvable in the old historic districts.
Where did the gray, not the Georgetown, the other one come from?
Nickel.
The nickel gray,
Yeah.
nickel gray was my recommendation based on the photographs that they provided, which is an
So
allowable color
that's
within
not
the
what
old
they were
historic district.
requesting.
Correct.
Okay.
But we could simply say approve through staff with the color changing to nickel gray.
3-tab.
Architectural.
or the black 3-tab.
Moray black.
Yeah.
Nickel gray is only allowed as 3-tab.
Right.
That's the kicker.
That's the kicker.
Oh, and they only wanted architectural?
Correct.
That's what they asked for.
That's what they asked.
Okay, so Val did this on one of the applications last Tuesday. Let's approve this. This is my suggestion, okay? To approve it as per Holly's recommendation, which is that color, that name escapes me again.
Nickel gray.
Nickel gray 3-tab. Shall we do that?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to make that a motion, Diane?
Yes, I make that motion.
Okay, so Diane has made a motion to approve this as nickel gray 3-tab. That is what is being approved for this house. On that motion, Val.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Aye.
Thanks, Diane, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Okay, that's that. And now, do we have anybody from Nantucket Architecture?
I'm here, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Stephen. 301 Matticat, regular board. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, thank you. This is a reproduction of an existing shed that's there. The existing shed that is present is in bad shape. It was built kind of down in a hole, so the bottom of the shed is rotted. And we're just asking to take the shed down and to pretty much replace it almost as identical match. The shed, I could not date it. There was no research. I did some research, but there's no date I could find on it. Due to the lumber inside it, it's definitely modern lumber, which is after 1949. And if you scroll down to what we're proposing, you can see the inside is pretty, had a lot of skylights across the roof, which we're not proposing. The new one, if we go to the new drawings, we're just pretty much replicating the existing shed. It's tucked in behind the house off of the Nantucket Road, so it's not visible from the Nantucket Road. Do we see the existing drawings, please? Or the new drawings?
Well, it's two separate applications. That's why it's hard to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, thanks, Val. There we go. Thank you. So there's our proposed shed.
Okay.
It's pretty much just like the other shed that was there.
Okay.
And that's it, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
I do have Matticat comments on both the demo of the shed and the new shed. I didn't know if you wanted to go from the demo one first.
That makes the most sense, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also, we have an HDC survey actually available for the shed, believe it or not. You wouldn't mind putting that one up? It's underneath the demo shed. It's actually dated from 1989, just for a quick reference to Stephen and the rest of the applicants that are watching. You can actually access these HDC surveys that are available through MACRIS, the Massachusetts Cultural Resource Information System. As you can see, these have been updated recently, but there's a layer on the map geo that you can all access on the town's website, the mapping system. And if you see a little arrow, you can click on that and it will take you basically directly to the HDC survey. So as you can see in this photograph, it's definitely clear that this is the structure that's there. Matticat Advisory took a look at this on February 14th. They said that they actually had no concerns on the demo, but they did have concerns on the proposal.
Oh, okay. So the demo, that's where we are right now. Anybody want to speak on the demo?
I would.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is this: what is the new building? They're going to
It's going to
replace
look just like this, John, but we're going to get to that later. This building dates from, I believe, 1989.
Okay, you're on this one now, the old one.
Yes, this is, Stephen Thoreau is requesting to demolish this building and rebuild it with a building that looks kind of just like it.
Okay, I'll still speak on this one, right?
Yes, the demo.
If possible, I know they're ugly, those three windows. And I think if you talk them into putting in something different, like the rest of the other double hungs, it'll be more appropriate. Thank you.
All right, well, yeah, Stephen would like those 3 windows to go to heaven. So in general, but thank you for the comments, John. Who's next on the demo?
I'll go.
Yes.
It's clear that that was a little greenhouse on the side. The shed in the survey is just the shed part. It's fine. 1989. Let's move it along.
Okay, thanks. You want to make that a motion?
I would. I motion
let's
to approve the demo of this shed.
Okay, so then we can move along to the new replacement building. Okay, so Val's made a motion to approve the demo of this building dating from 1989. On that motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. Abby?
I bet there was marijuana in there, yes.
Of course there was, yes. That's why he's getting rid of it. John McLaughlin, on the motion.
Yeah, Mr. I have one comment.
Yes.
What is a roof? What is a pitch on the new roof?
No, we haven't gotten there yet, John. Don't worry about it. This is for the demo.
On this one, I have no objection to it.
Okay, thank you. That's a yes. Val, on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Okay, so that's the demo. Now let's take a look at the new building and let's hear what Nantucket Advisory has to say about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So their concerns were the pitch of the shed, John.
You have to tell them that John beat him to it.
It shows a 612. It should be changed to a minimum of a 712. It looks very odd and shallow on such a small roof, and shed is visible. Pitch needs to be added to the elevations. This is not a zoning shed as the ground cover is over 200 square feet. And those are their comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I can raise the pitch. I didn't want to raise the height of the roof any higher than the existing house, but I can change the pitch to a 7 and fix it. That's no problem. If there could be approved to staff.
Okay. Val?
If he's trying to emulate a shed that we just said could be demoed, that's been there all that time and it had a low pitch, why would it matter if it stayed a low pitch? It makes it seem like it's always been there. So I think it's okay.
Okay. I happen to agree with you, but let's see.
I think just for aesthetics, raising it just makes it a beautiful, more beautiful shed to grow whatever you want.
And it is new construction, and Stephen was just.
Nantucket is funky.
Yeah, let's.
Hey, so 7 is still funky. 7 and 12 is still funky.
I think raising it, is that raising it a foot, the peak?
No, it wouldn't be a foot. It would be like 4 inches to get that to a 7 and 12.
Yeah, I think raising it would give this a little more beauty. So
it's probably a 6 now, right, Stephen?
Yes.
Yeah, so you'd raise it to a 7.
Yeah.
It won't even raise it 4 or 5 inches. That's all. Okay, so thanks, Abby.
And I think it goes more with the broke back silhouette. If you raise it a little bit, right? Yeah. It's not such a.
Okay. Thanks, Diane.
I think that the old shed had a 6. This one has a 7. I don't know.
Oh, no. Stephen is proposing a 6 to match the old one, but Nantucket Advisory is saying to raise it to a 7, and Stephen said that he would do that if we wanted him to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
the 6 is what is a copy of what's there, and the 7 is taking it up. It's at 9 foot 4.
Well, that's to the eave, Diane. We don't really know what the ridge height is on this, but
right.
It is on the application, Mr. Chair.
So I'll go with staying with what's there for now.
Well, then I think we're fine. So, John, I think I know your opinion of this. John?
Yes.
You were going to say something about the roof pitch, weren't you?
What is the roof pitch on the
6 and
gable?
12.
It's existing?
6 and 12. It was designed to match the existing on the shed that's there right now.
Okay, I think they should ask him to change it to a 7, but
Okay. Hey, Okay, so I actually, because this is going to be a split vote, I think. I'm actually cool with the idea that it's matching something that was there. Matic, it is funky. This is low, it's quirky. I'm okay with that. So I think that a motion to approve this as submitted would fly. If
Motion
somebody-
to approve is submitted.
Okay, let's give that a try. Don't. Okay, Abby, I gotta ask you something in all sincerity.
Do I
Whenever you
dare
drive
not
to
re-
Nantucket, do you always just wince when you go by this because the roof pitch is so low?
God, I
Probably
hope
not.
I think homogenizing everything is a mistake.
Okay, and Nantucket is our area to do that. Okay, so the motion is to approve this as submitted. So on that motion, Diane,
Aye.
see there, Abby,
I'll take one of those votes that is non-committal that ends up
Oh,
being
that's-
0.
yeah, that's called a abstention.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so, okay, and John on the motion?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm in favor. So the motion carries 4 in favor, 1 abstention.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Stephen.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yep, celebrate, take a victory lap. Okay, now we're on to 57 Somerset Demo Cottage, Susan Barkoviak. Susan, I saw you. Oh, there you are. You unmuted there? It's your turn, Susan. Oh, no. Let's see. You
Hi,
did we can't hear you.
Sorry, I just unmuted.
Okay. All right, so you have a cottage.
Yes.
There it is. And you want to demo it.
Please.
Mhm. Looks pretty rustic.
It looks like it was moved there.
Does, doesn't it? Oh,
Yes.
wow, it definitely was. Susan,
Yes.
can you speak to that at all? It looks like basically somebody just kind of moved it there and set it down on like metal pilings.
Yes, we moved it about 10 years ago. We were hoping to put it on the ground. It was next to Brant Point Marine and it was going to be demoed. So so we took the cottage and moved it to our property, but we haven't been able to put it on the ground.
Yeah, okay. Holly, did you have anything on this or?
I really could, based on the application, there wasn't much in here. And the only thing I could find was the property card doesn't give a date of 1950.
No, that's odd because the property card, Susan just said that it was there. How long ago, Susan?
We moved it about 10 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah,
Maybe
so that wasn't 1950.
Right, but
Yeah.
Sometimes whenever a structure is moved, I have noticed that they'll indicate the date that actually it was attributed to.
Oh,
But I don't have another date for that.
okay.
Unfortunately, would be nice to have a little bit more information of when it was moved. Exactly, like, the HDC application and all that, from
Susan,
previous.
do you have any recollection of any of that, like going to the HCC or anything?
I think Andre did, my husband, but I don't know.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Holly, is that it?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
she said.
Yeah, okay. Who wants to start?
I will.
Thank you.
I think reviewing this, we thought it would be consentable, but then we got confused because it says new cottage on the site plan. So clearing that up and seeing, that it's on steel, which is what I thought, I have no problem with this.
Okay. Thank you. Abby?
I'm okay with it.
All right. Diane? Oh, no. Diane. Where'd she go?
Here I am.
There she is.
My dog keeps barking and I keep muting you. My only question is if it's good and it's up on steel beams for removal, why I would hope that they would try and find somebody who could use it. It looks like it's a perfectly usable home for somebody rather than demoing it.
Well,
So
No.
we tried to, Toscana came over and told us that it wasn't salvageable. And then I also had the Nantucket Housing come over to try to give it to them. I was just going to offer it. I just offered it for free. And they said that it wasn't, the condition just hasn't been kept up. It's not.
Yep.
Okay.
You good, Diane?
Yep. I just wanted to know.
Okay. John, any issues with this?
And this, yes, I have a comment.
Go
There's
ahead.
so many things that are coming into this commission for removal. And, they come to its death through time and weather. But people have come in and a lot of them said to me, different ones I meet, they say, John, why can't they just replace? You don't have to replace, they can repair. And it costs less money than to rebuild a brand new one. Well,
I'm not sure that they actually want to have this building on their property.
That's fine. That's fine. But there's so much of it going on. Everybody asks me, John, why are they destroying all these old good Nantucket houses? They've
Well,
lost so much.
those people that you're talking to, John, tell them that all this stuff is available and they're free to take it. It would cost them less money than to take it to the dump. Anyway, John, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
No comment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, John. Holly, did you say something?
Yes, sir. I looked at the NHL data.
Yeah.
Based on where she said it came from next to Brant Point Marine,
Yeah.
which is now a land bank piece of property that looks like it was 30 Washington Street, maybe. And looking at the NHL data from 30 Washington Street, which shows it as a vacant, says 1950. Well, that's bungalow. I don't think that would have been a bungalow, but I think that's where it came from.
I actually remember this. I remember this.
I just like to connect the dots if we can. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, great. But I do. Okay. So my opinion is that it is looking pretty sorry, and I think that it can go to heaven. So
Motion to approve as submitted.
Yeah, I'm with that.
thank you. Okay. So Val has made a motion to approve the demo as submitted. On that motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, John.
Aye.
Thank you, Val, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. There you go. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Night, night. Okay, 9 Hawk Circle. Anybody?
Yep, Adam Davis with Goldsmith Architects.
All right, Adam Davis. Here we go.
Okay, yep.
New shed.
Yep, pretty straightforward. It's 200 square feet, so it doesn't count against the ground cover. This is down in the southern section of the property, and we're planning on housing the pool equipment underneath, and it's pretty straightforward. So roof pitches, window styles, doors, everything matches, similar to the house and guest house that are currently under construction.
I'm down. I'm okay with this.
Oh,
Mr. Chair, I do have comments.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So Sconset Advisory took a look at this on February 28th. They had concerns, would like to see the eaves come down to top of the doors, feels it's tall for a shed. And noticed a bulkhead near the rear of the structure. I'm not too sure what that is. If
Well,
there is a basement.
there is a bulkhead. Yeah.
Yep, that's to get to the pool equipment in the basement.
Okay, so there is a basement. Okay. And from that perspective, just you can read it on the screen. It's 14 foot, 3.5 inches to the ridge, and that is tall for a shed. But I would also just mention that the shingles and windows should match the new dwellings that have been approved thus far on the lot. So those are the comments, Mr. Chair.
Will you attest to that? I think that you said that the details match the house.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Is this a zoning shed?
Yes.
I'm not sure you're allowed to have a basement in the zoning shed.
You're not.
Just FYI.
Don't call it a zoning shed.
Well, then they would be.
They
over
don't
the
have ground cover left, that's why.
But that's not our,
Right. But I actually reviewed this and thought it was a consentable item. It's just a shed and it's
Yeah.
not in the old historic district. So that was my opinion.
Okay.
And they're doing it to hide pool equipment, which is.
Well,
Okay.
not anymore.
Oh,
They can't put a basement underneath it. So the pool equipment's gotta, it's.
What
it's
about a
gonna-
crawl?
I don't know about that. That's a very interesting question, Val. But again, we're,
Semantics.
Right.
somebody just came in, BPC is saying you can't have a full basement, but I think you can have a crawl space. But look.
And that's
not
basically
all-
anything under 7 feet, right?
Not our problem.
Right.
Yeah, under 8 feet, I believe. Okay, so let's see, Val, you're okay with it?
Yes, I am.
And Abby was okay with it?
Yes, she was okay.
Diane, where are you?
I just want to know what the bulkhead is for.
Oh, to get to the basement or the crawl.
The crawl space for pool equipment.
Yeah.
Okay,
Adam,
well,
turn your
there's
music
nothing-
off, friend. Thank you.
There's
Go ahead, Diane.
there's nothing wrong with it. I just wondered what it was for if we couldn't have a basement. I'm fine with it.
Okay, great. John, anything? John?
I have one question. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 57 Somerset Road. On
No,
the back-
no. 9 Hawk Circle.
My question is that a bulkhead on the back? of the-
Yes, it is.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay, so I think we can move this.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve as submitted.
Well, then do so.
There it is.
Just kidding. Here, I got you. Okay, so on that motion, Val,
Hi.
Diane,
Aye.
John,
Hey,
thank you, Abby, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. The motion carries. Okay,
Thank you.
now you're gonna have a garage with a big basement under it, right?
A garage without a basement. So again, very similar application. This is on the north end of the property. This would actually be used to house a car. But yeah, again, same idea, similar shingles, red cedar shingle for the roof, white for the walls, same palette of windows as the house. And yeah, it's fairly straightforward. It's kind of tucked away into that northeast corner. So not very visible from the street, as we plan to have a large hedge running along the street, which was approved a couple weeks ago. And yeah, that's that.
Okay, Adam, thank you. All right,
We may have put the
Oh,
cart
wait.
before the horse because we already did the landscaping for this that leads up to those garage doors.
okay, hang on one sec. We do need to hear from Holly on this first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Sconsa had very similar comments on the garage as they did on the shed. Would like to see the eaves come down to the top of the doors and feels it's tall for a garage. There was a comment that they did make overall on this lot. They said that with this entire property, the grade is a number of feet higher than the street, so the buildings loom much higher than normal, was a comment. Yeah, from 17'6" to the ridge, that is kind of tall. It did seem like there's a little bit of space from the top of the garage doors and the eave line, and I assume as the Adam will make sure that the fenestration matches the dwellings. So those are the comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Who would like to begin?
I, again, had no problem with this.
Okay,
Yeah,
All right.
I'm with Val.
all right, Diane,
I am too.
John, John?
I'd like to see the large, please. I want to look at that door that's on the side. Everyone.
There you go, John.
Yes. I'd like to see that door.
Hey, Adam, turn that music. off.
I didn't know.
Oh,
what
here, let me, sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to know, I didn't know what that was. Now that it's been sized up, I can see it. Thank you. I have
Okay,
no
I think we can move this one.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Abby. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Abby on your motion.
Aye.
I'm in favor. Goes. Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
now we're back to Matt at 14 Clifton. Lower
doing, Mr. Chair?
building height.
What's that?
Lower building height is what.
Yeah, I
it
was
says.
surprised this wasn't on consent.
I thought it should have been.
Yeah, so
Right.
this was basically a previously approved shed.
It was.
It was
Hang
consent.
on. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a previously approved shed, and we're simply, and we're probably being too nitpicky here, but we shifted it roughly 3 inches from the corner. And then also we lowered the height by 12 inches. That's it.
Did you lower the height by dropping the eave?
We dropped the plate, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the roof pitch has not changed. You just made the whole thing.
Just dropped it.
Any questions?
I have,
Mr. Chair.
I have no problem with it.
Okay,
There were
thanks.
comments from Sconset, and that's
Oh,
probably why we
okay.
didn't put it on consent.
Yeah.
Sorry. They said they looked at this on February 28th. They said even at 17 feet, this feels too tall for a storage shed. Suggests bringing eaves down to the top of the doors and reducing the pitch to a
Yeah,
9
do they
or 10 to
understand,
match.
do they
existing
understand that we approved a building that was
Yeah,
taller?
yeah.
You know, I mean, this is
I don't
kind
know.
of getting a little silly. That he's making it better.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you, Holly. Let's see, so
thank you.
Diane has said that she's okay. Val,
Aye.
well, we don't have a motion yet. I just want
Oh.
to make sure everybody's good.
Yes.
I make a motion to
Yeah,
approve
that-
as submitted.
All right, that's fine. Diane has made a motion to approve as submitted. On that motion, Val,
Aye.
John,
Yes, I'm thinking for a minute. Thank you.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and John.
Yes, there's two different doors. You got to drive in and drive out.
It's already approved.
Yeah, those are already approved, John. He's just dropping the height a foot.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. You know, it's frustrating when stuff like this gets mired down for like seriously no apparent reason. Okay, so that was 14 Clifton, 9 Green Lane, rebuild and revise decks. Or
I think
deck.
I'll just jump right into this one with your permission, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
I would actually say that this is another one that I was surprised wasn't put on consent. This is
I had suggested it, yes.
a rear deck.
Yes.
That we're literally just need to rebuild, and as part of rebuilding it, we expanded it slightly. I think that axonometric sums it up pretty accurately.
Come on.
There's an existing brick retaining wall. The drawing on the left represents the existing condition. The drawing on the right represents our proposal. That's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds like Sconset Advisory, huh?
HSAB.
Oh, HSAB, sorry.
Chair. HSAB took a look at this on February 14th. They said that the deck is visible from Green Lane. Appreciate the 12-inch drop, but should not be 10 foot 4 inches deep. No concerns with the additional decking in the driveway. Those are their
Oh.
comments. And I will mention this is an infill built in, the old historic district in 1985.
Very good. Thank you, Holly. Board members.
I'll go. I actually also had reviewed this and thought it was consentable. Green Lane is a dead end that dies into houses back here. It's like a driveway. You can't see the deck that's there now unless you're in their driveway. So it's fine. It doesn't look any different from the road.
Thank you, Diane. I mean, thank you, Val. Diane?
No, I agree with Val. I was on, house used to be entirely different in the old days, which we had a long hoorah about it. But anyway, it will fit in perfectly. I with her.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Abby.
I'm okay with it.
All right, I think we can run with it. Motion, somebody?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, that's Val's motion. On the motion, Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Thank you, Val.
Aye.
And
Thank
I'm in
you.
favor too. Motion carries. There you go. Okay, so I think Lisa's probably on. Lisa
Here.
Botticelli. You there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
Abby, you ready?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank
Right
you.
here.
I'm muting, signing off for now.
Yep, yep.
Hello.
Hello.
This is a submission for a shed on 7 King Street. When we ended last week, we were just doing some revisions to the house. And this is the shed.
Very cute.
Motion to
Any-
approve.
What about the Wisconsin Advisory?
They liked it.
So, yeah,
Oh, good.
Madam Chair, they had no concerns. I will just wanted to point out that, this is for an overall contributing historic property. Obviously, this is a new structure associated with it. That the west and east elevations do have a larger window comparable to the rest of the structure, and it might be visible, but other than that, they had no concerns. Those were my comments for the record.
Thank you, Holly. Are there any pictures of the main house?
I don't think there
I don't
were.
think so, but it was
Yeah.
reviewed last week.
Okay, I just wanted to see
I know.
if that, the big window related. Anyway, who would like to go first?
I will.
Thanks, Val.
I did have concerns about that so I went out there, and on that street, there are a bunch of little houses that have quirky windows, larger picture windows. So I think it is very sconset-y and it fits in fine.
Okay, appreciate that. Diane?
I would go along with that. The door windows are 16 window so that they match the other windows, only a little smaller. So I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, John? John McLaughlin?
Yes, I'm right here.
There you go. What do you think of this little shed in the backyard on King Street?
It's a nice little one, but the thing to do is make sure that they change the buttons on the double hung, on the doors, because you got more glass than you do wood, and that's very bad looking architecturally for Nantucket's old historic district area. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. What do we want to do with this?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Oh, very good. Okay, so on Val's motion, Diane?
Aye.
Johnny? McLaughlin?
Right here, I'm looking at this right here. This is
Abby, do I have a 5th member?
No,
Yes.
but you're about to get an approval.
Well,
So, you just asked me to make a comment. Let me make it.
Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Tell us what you think.
7 King Street.
yeah,
What happened? Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a little shed.
Right, a little shed, but the doors ought to be changed. It is more wood than glass. I keep saying that all the time in the old historic area. Thank you. That's my comment.
Okay, okay, so maybe there are some slight revisions here. Well, but Diane, did you go?
Yeah, I said aye. I think
Oh,
that it
okay.
is
All right.
approvable with the doors and the windows.
Right, was that a motion, Val? I can't. remember.
Yeah, yep.
It was.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, so, so Lisa, did you have a problem if this was about to be passed?
No, no, no. I was just saying that I needed an alternate, but it's fine if you don't want to
Yeah.
bring in a fifth
No,
person.
I don't think we need one. So John, on the motion, which is to approve,
Yes,
you're in favor, okay, and Diane?
King Street.
Aye.
And I am okay with it as well.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which is the next one? Still Dock, Oakland. Okay.
Oakland, 14 Oakland.
Yeah. So this is an existing house, very cute little cottage down in Nantucket. And the only thing that we're asking to do is actually infill that deck area. That's between the two buildings. That's really the only place that this building can expand due to the wetlands. And so they were hoping to add a dormer there and create a bathroom for the second floor.
Oh, gosh.
Madam Chair, could we please establish a board?
Yes, we could.
I think Carrie's up.
Okay, thank you for reminding me of that,
You
Stephen.
go ahead, Stephen.
Okay,
Okay, Stephen, are you on board?
I'm ready.
Hey, why don't you take off? Tell us what you think.
Madam Chair, before
Oh,
Mattakit comments to.
all right,
read
yes, let's hear
the
from
record.
Mattakit.
So Mattakit took a look at this on February 14th. They said that the north elevation should not be a formal gable dormer on a main connecting element. This is 14, right? Yeah. Should be a shed dormer. The connector used to make the gable form look like additive massing. The change in the connector now makes the roof all at one plane. The drop of 6 inches on the roof does not matter as the roof plane is on all one level. This elevation is visible from the water. The dormer is also flush and should not be, should remain a secondary element. On the south elevation, same issues, no setback on that connector. Roof plane is not broken. Atypical connector throws the balance off. Visible from the street, no issue with changing the connector to add the second floor access, but needs to read as additive and not continue the roof plane unbroken. Those are their comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
Can I just respond? We obviously, there's flush dormers all over the building, so we just felt like it was a typical architectural detail that we should respect. I certainly don't mind making it a dormer, but excuse me, a shed dormer, but that whole other mass is flush gable dormer, so it seemed logical to use that. And just because of the roof heights, without ripping the roof off, I know it is not a big roof plane difference. We could change the pitch slightly and break it. But other than that, there's really aren't a lot of physical options to the roof line.
Thank
Get it
you,
to work.
Okay, okay.
I'll go.
Okay, Diane, thank you.
What is the full Eve, putting all three together?
What is the full eave?
Yeah, how long is it? How long is the building?
Oh, well, that's a good question, because I just have, I think, the width of the addition, which is 10.9. 10.6, excuse me. I don't have the length of the entire building.
Okay, well, I think that it's cute, but this is in the old Nantucket area, and I think it's too big. Whatever they want to put in there makes it a long building.
It's just a bathroom.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it's filling in that hole that broke the two things up. And you've got, from what you see, from what a person sees, is the full of all three parts of the building. They look at it saying, oh, it dropped 6 inches. That's good. I really think that it's if you took whole part of it off somewhere, it would fit it better, particularly on the north elevation and therefore on the south elevation. I do not have a problem with the east or the west, except we're getting to 26 something or other in height, I believe.
That's the existing building height. We're not changing that.
Yeah, so that's
That's a
what you,
change. Yeah.
I think that bathroom dormer or whatever you want shouldn't be there.
Thank you, Diane.
Okay.
So, sorry, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
No, I was just some way to nicely say it, but that's what I think.
Yeah, you got it out. Carrie.
I think it was Stephen.
Oh, sorry, Stephen, that's right. Sorry, Stephen.
Am I muted?
Not to me.
Oh, I have a voice. Thank you. Yeah, so the primary concern is that gable and the lack of, and there being coplanar, the roofs being a continuous element. However, it's visible from the water. Even if it were visible from the driveway side, it's not directly visible from the street. I think that this is totally in keeping with the area. It's certainly in keeping with the area. I would prefer that it be a shed roof, but I don't think it detracts from, it kind of dresses up this is like, forgive me, I don't mean to offend it. It's like a dressed up Nantucket shack. And I think it's completely appropriate. I think it's charming. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Val.
Yeah, so I did go out and look, and the south is really what you can possibly see. There's so many reeds and bushes there. It's just the roof plane. So I don't think that this is really that discernible from the public vista. I didn't go around and go in a canoe on the water side, but I agree with Steve. I don't think that it's a huge detraction to this little funky shack. It's Nantucket again.
Yeah. Well, if you do go out in that canoe, can I join you? I've still got some pretty broad shoulders with muscular. So we heard from Steve, we heard from Val, we heard from So I myself, I think it actually makes the building a little more attractive. I wish it could come down a little bit more than you did bring it down. I think it looks like you brought it down 6 inches. If you brought it down another 6, I think you would differentiate between the two roof planes, giving it a little bit more dimension. In my
I would. Does John? Sorry, I can respond to that, but do you want to let John speak first?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I might as well finish mine though, since I butted in. I could go either way on the. I love that single sort of doghouse dormer to sort of put in there. I think it's sort of attractive. Okay, John. Sorry to jump over you. What are your thoughts?
Is he there?
Let's show John the other, the north side. Yeah, John, what do you think?
Well, wait a minute, Sharon, go ahead. All right, this side here, I want to see that one, yeah.
Can you blow that up for John?
Yeah,
Anybody? Thank you.
This is Oakland Avenue, that's in Nantucket?
Yeah,
Should be.
it is.
All right. I think anything you can do here to make a proper change would be right. So I'll make a no comment. It's there. It could use some changes on those triple windows.
Oh, some of that exists.
That all exists, yeah.
It's just the connector.
I think it's okay to be there.
Okay, very good.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have a motion to approve. Let's try that out. Diane,
No,
Stephen,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
on the motion to approve the connector.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'll take that as a yes, and I'll be a no because I wanted the roof line to drop. So that passes. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. One more, same neighborhood.
Tennessee.
Yeah, so these are properties, all connect to each other. And this is the one that is on, away from the water. And basically the program was to create a, more of on the north elevation, we've really didn't make any changes there, but from the side, you can see a shed roof added and extended to create a little bit of an overhang there. On the east, there's that kind of funky second floor deck, which I know is funky, but I don't think it's going to be visible. And the major addition happens to the, which you also see from the west, on the south elevation. It's adding that bedroom and a little bit of a connector.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa.
Madam
Holly.
Chair, they had no concerns.
No way. Okay, let's go with John first on this. Do you see that nice big drawing? That rendering of that beautiful Nantucket house? What do you think, John?
I think you ought to paint it.
Yeah, me too.
That's a lot of, that's for Tennessee Avenue. That's got a lot of glass in that one straight wall, them four doors, if they're visible.
I think it's just the deck. You see that? I don't think they're common, they didn't change those windows there. What's before us is the extended deck and the new shower and the partially enclosed entry porch.
Well, no, that whole thing is an addition, Abby. The thing on the right with the triple windows and the 4 light, and then the hallway with the French doors. I don't think it's visible just because Tennessee Avenue is pretty vegetated.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
that is an addition. It's creating a sort of a hallway to get back to the bedroom. And we just thought it was nice to, bring in, to make it feel a little bit more glassed out to that deck.
Yeah. Okay, John, fire away. Say what you think.
I'd like to see 40 Tennessee Avenue if possible.
40
You're looking at it.
I'll try to change it. Okay, all right. There's four windows, 4 doors there on the rear south elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, extend the flip of the deck also. And new outside shower. I'd like to see that there's like one of those center 4 doors be eliminated, make it 3, not 4. I think 4 are horrendous because you only got an 8-foot height to the ceiling. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Valerie.
I have no concerns. I'm fine with it.
Oh, very good. Diane.
I have no concerns either.
Okay, and is it Carrie this time?
Yeah.
I have no concerns.
Okay, so that's funny. I had no concerns. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to
No,
approve is
motion.
submitted.
Okay, Val, on your motion, Diane.
Aye.
Carrie.
Aye.
Johnny.
Yeah, more members should have jumped on this and we start changing them to 4 to 3 and make it, set it that way. It's too much glass for the whole wall.
Motion.
Yeah, but there's a motion on the floor to approve it as submitted. Are you in or out?
Okay, that's what you want to do?
Are you in favor? Or opposed?
I vote,
No, John.
I vote no.
Okay, and Val, didn't I get you? You said yes.
Yes,
Yes, and I'm a yes, so that passes. Thank you.
The new revolution coming, look out.
yep. Gonna be good.
Colonel Saunders leading the charge.
The next one is 32 Holbert Avenue.
Yes, this is old business. And I sent Esmeralda and Holly some new drawings. I know, Holly, you weren't in the office today, so hopefully you got them.
We have them.
Okay, and I happened to pull those up when I went to 8 Sab as well. I have a few things that I wanted to say. I don't know. I can let you do the 8 Sab comments first, or do you want me to go through the changes first? So the major changes that we did on the north side was just to add a little bit more detail to the building to make it have a little bit more personality. So you can see the original submission in the bottom left, which was a lot busier in terms of the number of windows, and the number of lights in the windows. So we've reduced a lot of the glass. We made the front door a more traditional front door with traditional side lights. And then we added some shingle style details to the gable end of the building. I think that was everything we changed on the north side. The major change happened along Willard. There had been suggestions about flipping the building, and rather than doing that for programmatic reasons, we reduced one of the Willard Street mass to 1 story for part of it. So if you go to the next slide, maybe it's on the, I'm not sure. Well, that's you can see the single story addition from the north. That's the rear, just added some detail, and then the side on Willard Street is that. So if you go down, it changes the mass dramatically from what was there before to a single story bedroom mass.
What is the length of the structure, please?
I have to go and look because it is.
It's not there.
It is 72 feet in that direction.
72 feet, that's it?
Mm-hmm. And 79, I believe, in the other.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll go.
It's fine.
Well,
John,
I think there's 8 Sab comments if you guys want to listen to
Yes,
that.
Madam Chair, there's 8
Thank you,
Sab
Holly.
comments if Lisa's ready. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so HSAB took a look at this on February 28th. They said that the previous recommendation from the HDC was to push the building back away from Holbert and make it smaller. There's plenty of room to push it back, and the length should be reduced to conform to the other properties in the intermediate area. Sorry, it's been a long day. The chimney is in an awkward location and should be moved to the central mass where it is usually found. The proposed railing design has promise, but should be simplified a little. On the south elevation, the gable is too narrow, and should the commission be so inclined to ask for revisions, they have respectfully requested to see revisions back to HSAB. I just wanted to mention, of course, this is infill within the historic district, and any new construction should comply with Resilient Nantucket for new construction. I think it's chapter 11 out of the design guidelines. I do appreciate that 1-story change to the structure. I do also want to remind the commission that there were comments that were received from an abutter, and I believe they are here this evening. So
very good.
Are
Okay,
the
let's
comments,
hear-
Madam Chair? Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Let's hear from those neighbors.
Here we go. I'm Gretchen Lytle and my family and I are at 30 Willard and have been there since, for almost 70 years. And that was always an empty lot. And we understood that it would be built on someday and have been following this. I really appreciate the drop in height in the bedroom that's on on Willard. And I'm curious at how far back from Hulbert it is positioned now. And I don't understand how these things work exactly. So if you are allowed to cover, what is it, 30% of the land, does that mean that this building, has this land been subdivided, or is this what it is for that full lot?
I can answer that if I may, through you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. If you go to the site plan, this lot is potentially subdividable into 4 lots. And I was just actually looking for the drawing that shows that. What the photojays or the client has opted to do is to subdivide it into 3 lots, making one much larger lot on the Hulbert Avenue side, and then 2 potentially smaller lots on the Willard Street side that at this point will remain vacant. So the 30% is based on the lot that is shown there, which is, I believe, 11,555 square feet. I can't see the square footage of that. But the lot is about 20,000 square feet, and the minimum lot size is 5,000. So conceptually, you could have 4 separate lots that each had 1,500 square feet of ground cover.
So with the outline of this drawing where the house is now, that is half of the lot with the 2 smaller lots.
Plus or minus, yeah. The whole lot is about 21,000 square feet, and we've basically cut it in about half.
Okay, and the house, that is just 30% of that half?
The way the
Wow.
zoning bylaw works is you don't include porches.
Uh-huh.
So when you have
Okay.
lots of porches, they don't count towards ground coverage.
Okay, and then, so if something else is to be built on the half that we're looking at now where the house is, that counts towards the 30% too, correct?
You mean on lot 1?
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. So that future garage, all of that has to be included within the 30% ground cover. That's correct.
Okay, and that's all done separately, so.
Yes, you have to do, every structure has to be done as a separate application, and we frankly don't know if it's, if it would go there, we just haven't designed that yet. We're trying to get through the bigger part of the plan at the moment.
Okay, so one of our concerns was, as many people on HTC, or several people on the HTC noted, was that the house was set very close to Hulbert Avenue, which was not really in keeping with the rest of the neighborhood. So what is the setback at this point?
It's setback. Well, actually, maybe before, rather than us going back and forth, can I just make my presentation? Because I was going to show a lot of photos and site plans that show that it is not out of character with the rest of the neighborhood.
Great, I will listen in.
And but it is further back than it's allowed to be by zoning. So hang on, you know what? I need to find something that I forgot to share to my computer, which will. Sorry, guys. I have all these site plans that I wanted to share, and so well, if I can share my screen, I'll start my photo presentation.
Lisa, in the meantime, I think somebody has something on in the background, like the news or something. If they could turn that off.
It's probably my husband. It's all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to airdrop a couple things to myself on this computer, and then I can open them. Okay. One other thing.
While you're doing that, we're only meeting till 8 o'clock tonight, correct?
Was that for all of us?
Yes.
Oh, great, terrific. Okay, Ray said that earlier, but I didn't know if that was for all of us.
I just wanted to remind everybody.
Okay, so where are we? We're at 7:44. Okay, this could be our last application.
Okay, so this first PDF, oh, I have to share my screen, sorry, is the map of the potentially subdivided parcels into 4 lots, just to show that it is an empty lot. It's a large empty lot for the zoning down here. So we've opted to connect these two, top lot 1 and 2, into 1 lot at this point. And it has not been subdivided yet, but I think he plans to subdivide it relative to what would be, let me just find the other, future planning. This other site plan that I wanted to show you, let me get rid of this one. Sorry, there's just too many. Oh, these are the pictures. So this is the GIS map of the area. And this is the lot here. And so I went down and I took pictures of all of these properties. And I think one of the interesting things about where this site is located, and I can show you on our site plan, is if you go up and down up Holbert Avenue from that side, this is 51 Holbert. Oops, sorry. This is 51 Holbert. This is 49 and 47. This is 41, which is these 2 buildings. And then the next picture is 39. Oops, I have to rotate that, I'm sorry. Or maybe you guys get the picture, but my point was that the street really opens up here. And if you look at this GIS map, and then I also have a site plan that shows a radius here, there are really, this building is 75 feet away from the garage at 39 Holbert. It's 100 feet away from the building at 37. It's 90 feet away from 30 Holbert. And if you draw a radius around this building from the center, it is 120 feet before it touches another structure. And that's just, just a happenstance for how Holbert Avenue is developed here. Which is interesting, I think. And then if you continue down the pictures, that is 29. Hold on, I missed one. What happened to 41? Oh yeah, no, there we go. 41. That's 29, 39, 21. This is 2 Sandy Lane, which is right on the front yard setback. This is up the street at 21 Holbert. This is 2 Holbert, right on the setback from both corners. And then this one is I think it's 4 Holbert. It's around the corner. It's on the circle. So I think my point is that, there are a lot of houses. There are more houses that are really right up onto the setback than on Holbert Avenue. It all depends on the lot size. And so what we have done is we have the ability by zoning to actually rotate this building and push it a little bit into the setback, because you can have your steps in the setback now. So we have pushed it back, and the steps are completely out of the setback. So I'm just saying that it's not it could be closer to Holbert Avenue than it actually is. And I think when you look at the context pictures, there are a lot of houses that are closer to Holbert Avenue, albeit on smaller lots, but they're not insignificant buildings in terms of their scale.
I thank you, Lisa. I think when people said it was lot line to lot line and then it was close to Holbert, I think they were talking about the immediate neighborhood, not across the street where there is a precedence, but
yeah, I think, Abby, when you look at this plan though, the immediate neighborhood across the street, people aren't, you know, it's sort of, the space opens up quite a bit here is my point, is that it's not like if where I was trying to build another really tall building right here, where you had a tall building across the street and you're creating a tunnel. It's opened and it doesn't feel as imposing because there's space around it. That was my point with the graphic.
All right, well, I get your graphic. Let's hear from the other members of the board.
Oh,
Who
should I
are-
stop sharing my screen then and let Esmeralda go? Or Holly, whoever's in control?
I'm not sure which is the best for,
I'm
maybe.
happy to do it.
Esmeralda, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'd like to hear from the board though, because we do have to get cut off at 8 for some reason. So,
I'll go, Abby.
thank you, Diane. Give it a go.
I think that it is, unfortunately, it still remains a two massive building across the front. The mulled windows and the size of it without any telescoping down. We are not concerned what he may do in the future of building 10 buildings on the back. We're concerned about how this one fits into the area now. It does go lot line from lot line on the side.
Not quite.
Okay,
Well,
no
not
back
the-
and forth.
Okay.
Not
I just
too,
wanted to make sure that it was clear that it doesn't go lot line to lot line, but.
well, it goes pretty close to it. And it's also on a corner, so it's seen from all ends. It is totally seen from north, south, west, and east coming in Hobart Avenue going towards Jetties. So I would like still to see the facade simpler without the mulled windows all the way up, and perhaps dropping the left side down some so that you get, that's a long ridge and a long eave that goes, the eave is straight across the whole building until you get to the very end. And I would like to see some reduction in the number of windows on that elevation. If I could see just some of the, either the west or the east.
That's the east.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I appreciate this dropping down to the first floor. I appreciate the windows there. They aren't overpowering. And the west has got to be close to that.
Yeah.
So it's just, unfortunately, the front facade and the rear facade that I feel should be reduced in some things, some of the windows removed and not making it such an imposing elevation. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Stephen,
He's not on it. It's Carrie
Carrie,
and Val.
I'll go. I really appreciate you dropping that south piece to a one-story element. And I think what would be an immense help also is doing the same thing on the north with the left-hand piece to really minimize as much as you can this building. I understand your point about it opens up here, so why not be able to have a house up close to the road? But in fact, I think it works the opposite. I think because it is open, it's got its own character, and to push it back would be sort of imperative. I think on their site plan, you've got a double wide parking, and you could easily do a little driveway going in with the parking closer to that south door, which I think is your back door, and then by the garage. So I think you could shift it back 10 feet and it would still stand out as a big, beautiful house. It is a beautiful house. I appreciate the changes in the fenestration that you did originally. But again, I think that little left piece is sort of extraneous. If that could be a one-story mass like the other, it would be really good. That's all.
Thank you, Carrie. Val,
I appreciate the changes. Can we scroll through these so we can see? Because the ones we have on ours doesn't have these nice details.
Yeah.
I like I like the detailing because it sort of takes you back to those old Hulbert Ave houses that have some funk to them and old style. I do like that. It looks to me like it's shifted over a little bit, which I appreciate from the site plan. And I love that you made that a one-story mass. I think that really works well on Walsh. Yeah, Willard. So yeah, I don't have too much really to say about it, except thanks for the changes. I think it looks great.
okay, great. Thank you. Johnny. Is Johnny on this?
Yes, he was in the past.
John,
Is he still
muted.
here?
He's muted.
I'll go ahead. And if he comes back in, if anybody sees him come back in, tell me, okay? I think to me, the whole massing is still too lot line to lot line. As it is now on Hulbert, this side of the street, to me, is more open, and this is too much massing. I think the detailing is too ornate. I mean, I've seen that on like Easton Street, sort of looking out at the harbor for those old houses, but Hulbert to me is a little bit more subtle. So I appreciate the back going down. I wish something would go down on the front so we don't have this massive. We want this to get. We want to get this right, and I don't want it to become something that people talk about. I want it to fit in. I want it to be appropriate. Anybody see Johnny?
I have.
John, could you comment on Lisa's design here?
You want me to comment? Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, on the north elevation, the last submission, when was that? 2021. December.
12/29/2021, this one?
Well, let's get together on this. Now, I have my comments as well. Okay, now on the north elevation, all three of them, two of them have the crossbucks and the squares. That's not typical for that neighborhood. And they ought to be run the whole deck right straight through like it was in the first drawing. That ought to give some protection. What are the on the left side on the north elevation? There's the odd shaped gambrel roof, as you see. What are those five?
They were a detail to try to add a little bit more of a shingle style quality to the building and give it a little bit more dimension. You can see that on some shingle style buildings.
Lisa,
So the top gable kind of overhangs, and there's a little bit of a detail that gets supported by those brackets.
Right, the last submission is in the bottom right. Am I correct?
No, this is the bigger one is the last. Yes, the one you previously looked at was this bottom right. That's correct.
Okay, I think those things ought to be spindles all the way through instead of those round crossbucks, whatever they are. They ought to be match the one under it. That's yeah. It should change all that. It's obviously one item. It should be spindles. And the other is, what was I looking at? That's not, okay, on the left side, now, north elevation, bottom left. Now those spindles are fine, as long as you don't go over 50% of the outside length area. That's gotta be, somebody has to check that out to make sure it doesn't get too much on there, which it shouldn't be there in the old historic or Nantucket area. So I'm just saying they ought to be changed to something more applicable to the neighborhood. You get down and see what's been built there in the last 10 years. It's not like this here neither. Thank you.
Thank you, John. In 1 minute, we're going to turn to stone. So I'm not really sure why we have to quit at 8, but that's what we've been told. So it's 8 o'clock now. Do we want to do some more revisions?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to hold revisions regarding the suggestions made by the commission.
Okay, thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion,
Can I
Carrie.
ask a question of Carrie, actually?
Yeah.
Carrie, at the last hearing, you had said if you just simply flipped the building, you would have had less issue with it.
On the, yeah, but I
Flipped
still
the
think it's
plan.
close. Yeah, but I still think it's too close to the road. But yeah, that was.
So the
that was-
removal of this mass, though,
Yeah.
is not an issue because you were okay with it if it were flipped the other way.
Well, if it were flipped, the idea was that you'd have a much shorter elevation on Willard.
Right, right.
Yeah, but I still
But-
hold to the fact that I think.
We
it's-
have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, I'm just trying to clarify, Diane, because it takes 5 weeks between meetings to get heard. So I want to make sure I'm understanding the comments.
Yeah, that was in an effort to shorten the elevation on Willard, but I do, Lisa, still think it's too close to the street.
Okay, so it's being too close to the street as
Yeah.
opposed to not necessarily the second story mass
Well,
on the north side. I just wanted to make sure. I thought you were referring to shortening, making this one story.
yes, I was referring to that on this round. I was.
Okay.
Just because it does read as so long and big.
Madam Chair, could Diane amend her to include HSAB?
Yeah,
You're
I was
welcome,
going to do
Diane.
that. And it should be returned to ASAP for another review.
Okay, thank you, Diane, on that. On Diane's motion, John, for revisions.
Yes.
Thank you. Carrie.
Aye.
And Val.
Aye.
And I am an aye. And okay, so thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, everybody. Hey, so, yeah, you guys want to adjourn now after we approve some minutes?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it's important to note that the reason we're quitting is because the last hour is very arduous for a lot of people.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought maybe.
Going from working all day till 9 o'clock at night, it's too much. We need to start getting through these applications in a different way.
Here, here.
There, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Gray,
Yes, John.
where can
Yeah.
I get a reasonable haircut?
A reasonable haircut?
Oh, it's too long. Almost long as yours.
Well,
What happened
yeah.
in Pleasant Street?
No, I'll be over with my shears, John. I have electric hedge clipper. I'll help you out.
Could we wrap this up and then go to
Yeah.
haircuts?
Yeah.
Okay, so, a
Motion
minute.
to approve February 22, 24.
Thank you. Okay, so on that motion, Diane,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
John.
Make the motion to adjourn.
No, not yet, not yet. We're approving the minutes, so just say yes.
Hang in there.
Okay, so that's a
Oh, my
yes.
God.
And Abby on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor, motion carries. Okay, John, now you can move.
Motion to adjourn.
There we go. Okay, so on that motion, on John's motion, Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
John on your motion,
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Okay, good night, everybody. Enjoy your extra hour.
Good night, all.
Thank you, staff. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Haircut. Adjourned at 8:03 PM. Adjourned at 8:03 PM. Adjourned at 8:03 PM.